Welcome back to Candlestick Park in San Francisco. You know, when the Giants moved here in 1958 to this city by the bay, a dark day for the Big Apple, but a lot of golden moments started here in San Francisco.
The baseball Giants began their history at the Polo Grounds in Harlem, where they played for 46 years before leaving their fans with only the memories of great Giant moments. A decline in attendance made a move necessary.
At a meeting of our board today, they voted permission for us to transfer the New York Giant franchise to San Francisco. Does that mean you will definitely do it? That's right.
The last game at the Polo Grounds was watched by 11,000 faithful fans, grieving the loss of their beloved Giants. For some, baseball would never be the same.
San Francisco, open your golden gate. You let no stranger.
Their arrival was well received in the city by the bay. For 2 years, the Giants made their home at Seal Stadium, just around the corner from here, until construction was completed at their permanent home of Candlestick Park, named by fan ballot in 1959 for the point on which it sits. The Giants began building their team with memorable moments provided by some future heroes.
May spends another one. Tell it, bye-bye, baby. Aaron doesn't even move. Drive to deep left field. Back goes Crawford. Still going back. It's gone! A grand slam home run! McCovey!
Other memorable moments were of more interest to meteorologists than to fans.
I came in relief in the 9th inning, and I believe there's 2 men on base, second and first. And the wind was blowing very hard at the time, and an extra gust of wind came along and just moved me about 3 or 4 inches. I just waved. But the headlines the next day in the paper were Miller was blown off mound.
The gusts of wind continued to blow at Candlestick. Even this current season brought with it its share of windy embarrassments. The evenings here are not just windy, but cold. In fact, the Giants have used Madison Avenue tactics to make their chilled crowds proud of their ability to withstand the wind.
To those valiant few who stay to the end of an extra inning night game, the San Francisco Giants present the Quad Candlestick. From the team that hangs in there to the fans that hang in there.
I'm back up there. Kid, let him go.
Well, the present-day Giants will have to try and hang in here tonight at Candlestick. If not, they'll be down 3-1 of the National League Championship Series. Joining us, the man who chased a lot of balls around here in this park, Joe Morgan. Joe, any favorite thoughts about your playing days here at the Stick?
Well, actually, Jimmy, there are 2 things that come to mind. Once before I was playing, I was in the left field bleachers. Willie Mays hit a fly ball. I came to chase it so I could catch it, and the wind came up and blew it back into the ballpark. Another time I was actually playing here in the major leagues. There was a line drive to center field. Billy North was playing center field. He charged the ball. All of a sudden, a gust of wind came up and blew the ball 20 feet to his left for a base hit. We lost the ball game 1-0. Things like that do happen here at Candlestick Park.
And we might expect some tonight. Talk about tonight's game. What are the key elements do you see for the Giants and for the Cardinals?
Well, so far, the Giants' left-handed pitchers have been able to contain the St. Louis Cardinals. Their right-handers haven't done so well. Mike Krukow is a right-handed pitcher. So the Cardinals get their running game started against right-handed pitchers. So he's going to have to keep them off base. So the key element I see here is him going at least 5 or 6 innings so Roger Craig can bring in his left-handers out of the bullpen.
All right, key point, Mike Krukow, the San Francisco Giants. Joe, thanks for joining us. We'll see you again real soon. When we come back, we'll talk to one of the most important elements of the St. Louis Cardinal team.
No better value.
Right. The new Tandy 1000 TX is made in the USA and has incredible speed at an unbelievably low price.
Speed?
6 times the speed of the PCXT, so you're more productive at home or work. It's ready to run on a built-in 3.5-inch disk drive, and we give you 7 PC programs, including word processing, filing, and spreadsheet.
That is better value.
Tandy Computers, because there is no better value, only at Radio Shack.
I don't look for trouble. I don't wear rubber watches. And I don't say I do when I don't. So I don't do this for fast food places that don't do steak.
New steak fajitas. Real steak, real fast.
But I do appreciate them asking. No, I don't.
Taco Bell, the only real choice.
Welcome back to Candlestick Park in San Francisco. Game 4 just moments away. Joining me, Mike Rourke, the pitching coach for the St. Louis Cardinals, who's got a difficult task tonight. You've had a lot of time to work with Danny Cox. Let's go through some of the lineup. Let's take a look at Will Clark. How will you pitch him tonight?
Will Clark is a good hitter, and we can't stay one way with him. Danny Cox has a curveball, a changeup, and a fastball, and we're going to try to move the ball in and out, and he's going to show him all 3 pitches. But again, you know, we just can't stay in one spot for him. He's too good a hitter for that.
All right, the hack man, Jeffrey Leonard, you'd have trouble with him throughout the series. What do you do differently tonight with Danny Cox?
Well, I just hope that Danny doesn't make the mistakes that we've made against, you know, the hack man, because we've thrown him a hanging curveball, a hanging changeup in the middle of the plate, and a fastball that was waist high right out over the middle of the plate. If he stays away from that, he's going to throw him the breaking ball. He'll throw him the fastball and try to catch it inside.
Thanks, Mike. Now let's go to public address announcer Jeffrey Bonds.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to center field. Presenting the colors for tonight's game is the United States Army Color Guard from the Presidio of San Francisco. Ladies and gentlemen, may we please ask that you rise at this time to honor America with our national anthem. Please welcome the lead singer of a group who is known worldwide for such hits as We Built This City, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now, and It Ain't Over Till It's Over. From the Bay Area's own Starship, please welcome lead singer Mickey Thomas.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We'll be back with Vince Scully and Joe Garagiola at Candlestick Park in just a few moments. But first, let's go to New York for an NBC News Digest.
This is NBC News Digest. Here is Connie Chung, NBC News, New York.
Good evening. President Reagan today formally notified Congress of Thursday's firefight in the Persian Gulf. The War Powers Act requires that. But the president said he still believes the act is illegal. The Iranian news agency confirmed today that Iran has Stinger missiles, which are America's most lethal small anti-aircraft missiles, and has made copies. In London, the Sunday Times said Stinger parts found on 2 Iranian gunboats Thursday were purchased a few weeks ago, and that Iran likely has a large stock of them. And Jesse Jackson made it official. He's running for president. I'm Connie Chung in New York. More news after the game on this NBC station.
Monday, Alf moves to a monastery. Where's the little monk's room? Will he take a vow of silence? Bite your tongue. Meet the monk from Melmac, Monday. He's very entertaining. Then on Valerie's Family, the boys get girls.
Oh, yeah, that's Janice, the old ball and chain.
But Mark's girl wants Willie.
Having a bear? Make it sound so sweet.
Monday.
If you've ever dreamed of owning a Porsche, it's nice to know that some dreams come true faster than others.
Test drive the 924S at your Northern California Porsche dealer.
It's been said, love is blind. And when it comes to the cost of cars, that may be true. So to ensure you get the performance you paid for, insist on high-octane Chevron Supreme with Tech Relief. Cleans complete fuel intake systems. Chevron Supreme, because people who use premium really can't afford to buy anything less.
Come home to Channel 4's post-game wrap-up show tonight.
NBC Sports presents the 1987 National League Championship Series. Tonight from Candlestick Park, it's the St. Louis Cardinals versus the San Francisco Giants. Brought to you by Miller Brewing Company, sole sponsor of the U.S. Olympic Training Centers. By the heartbeat of America, today's Chevy truck. By AT&T, the right choice. And by Mr. Goodwrench. No one knows your GM car better than Mr. Goodwrench. No one. Hi, everybody. I'm Vin Scully, along with Joe Garagiola. Welcome to Candlestick Park and Game 4 of the National League Championship Series. Last night, maybe David didn't slay Goliath, but he certainly won the round. With the Giants leading 4-0, the Cardinals got off the floor and won it going away 6-5. For Whitey Herzog, two of his hardly ables are in the lineup tonight, Terry Pendleton and the pitcher who should have opened up the series, Danny Cox. But what about Roger Craig? The Giants didn't get here on hope. They got here on wins. And Roger's job is to shake whatever psychological cloud would be over the ball club. Let's find out about it and go to Joe.
Okay, Vin. Roger, you've had two bitter disappointments. By that, I mean games that looked like you were going to win, should have won, and you didn't. What do you do to shake the ball club loose from thoughts like that?
Well, I think that's been the strength of this ball club all year long. We can always come back and win a crucial ball game after we lose a tough game like we lost last night. Nobody wanted to lose that game, but it just happens. You can throw all the things out of the book when you start a playoff or World Series. Anything can happen. Look at the Tigers and the Twins, what's happening over there. Anything can happen in baseball. That's why it's such a great ball game. And we are up for this ball game. There's nobody with their dauber down. We feel we can win.
There it is. You got the dauber down and hum, baby, Vin.
So it looks like Hum Baby against the White Rat. And on the sidelines, Mike Krukow going against Danny Cox. We'll get to the starting lineups all coming up right after this.
How does the advanced new Chevy half-ton stand up to Ford? Chevy gives you more standard power than Ford, more cab room, more shoulder room, more two-sided galvanized steel, new two-tier loading, and a bigger, heavier frame. So how does Ford stand up to the first all-new full-size pickup introduced in this decade?
Not very well.
The heartbeat of America.
Test drive it.
That's today's Chevy truck.
I'm here having a couple of Miller Lights with the world's funniest tennis coach, Jan Tiriak. This guy's a million laughs. Hey, remember the one you told me about the chicken and the tennis ball? That just cracked me up. Here, have another Miller Light. Yeah, light tastes great and it's less filling. And you don't want to get filled up when you're having as good a time as we are. Right, Jan?
For serious beer drinkers, there's only one light beer, Miller Lite.
Oh, stop it, man. You're killing me.
You can depend on AT&T Long Distance thanks to the remarkable people who put our equipment to the test.
I love wrecking things. This is a special laboratory. Here we create disasters. One disaster right after another. Why do we do all this? Once we understand how these things can destroy long-distance service, we can build equipment that'll stand up to it.
We're reaching further to bring your world closer.
Yeah, the storm's over.
AT&T, the right choice.
continued at a ballpark near you.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
Under beautiful weather conditions, let's take a look at the Cardinals and the way they come up in the first inning. Vince Coleman in left field and Ozzie Smith at short. Tommy Herr, the second baseman. Dan Dreesen clean up at first, followed by Willie McGee. Terry Pendleton back in the starting lineup at third. Kurt Ford in right field. Tony Pena behind the plate. Danny Cox the pitcher. And on the mound, a fellow whose initials should be ND for no decision, Mike Krukow.
There's a defense. You see Milner in center field. Aldrete is in right field and at third base. And what a night he had last night. Even the Cardinals were talking about Kevin Mitchell. How could he play Coleman so close to the line on the very first pitch of the game? And there's the first play that he made. He had a couple of beauties.
Mike Krukow had 17 no decisions this year, more than any other pitcher in the major league. He comes in 5-6, but 4 of those wins without a loss after the All-Star break, and once he got himself healthy. There's a strike to Vince Coleman. A year ago, Vince Coleman and Mike Krukow wound up in the middle of a brawl, and Mike Krukow wound up on the disabled list. Little roller foul. That was in a one-sided game in favor of the Cardinals. And Vince Coleman against Juan Berenguer stole second and then stole third. Next time he came up, Frank Williams hit him. And the next thing you know, a fight broke out. And when Krukow came out of nowhere to charge Coleman, Coleman stuck him with his helmet in the ribs. And Mike went on the DL. Ground ball to first base, and Will Clark feeding Krukow coming over. One away.
You'll see a big overhand curveball from Krukow. He changes speeds on that pitch. He's got a good fastball. He throws a split finger, but he uses that much like a change of pace pitch.
It's interesting, Mike Krukow going against Danny Cox in this game, because they faced each other twice this year, and both games were wild games. In one game in May, Danny Cox led 7-2 in the 7th inning. The bullpen allowed 5 in the 8th, and the Giants came from behind to win it. And then in July, eventually the game went into extra innings. The Giants scored 3 in the top of the 10th, and the Cardinals came back with 4 to win it. 1-1 to Ozzie Smith.
Kevin Mitchell at third base really trying to take the bunt away from Ozzie Smith. He's really in close.
Off speed, it's hit by the mound to Robbie Thompson, who kicks it and can't pick it up. So Ozzie Smith aboard on the error charge to Robbie Thompson, and the batter will be Tommy Herr.
Just an error. That's about all you can say. Glove was down. He just didn't field it.
There have now been 6 errors in the 4 games, 3 for each side, and the batter is Tommy Herr. Herr is 1 for 12. Now with Ozzie Smith at first, we'll see if the Cardinals put on a play.
They think they can run against Krukow. I'm almost certain they'll put on a play. It's just a matter of which pitch. And Roger Craig is starting early by motioning to his catcher to make your pitcher throw over there.
Opponents have stolen 18 out of 28 against Krukow. So we'll see if that's exploited at all by Ozzie Smith. And they pitch out.
You could see it on the very first pitch. They're going to send a message over there. So 3 times he's pitched out so far and hasn't gotten his man, Roger Craig.
Interesting thing about Tommy Herr during the regular year, and this might be a concern for Herzog, most of his strikeouts came as a left-handed batter. He hardly ever struck out hitting right-handed, but left-handed maybe 3 times as much. So perhaps instead of a hit-and-run play with a man who has a little trouble making contact left-handed, they might have a straight steal. 1 out, first inning, no score. We're just starting. And that's driven to right field. Fighting the sun is Aldrete, and makes the play. And back to the bag comes Ozzie Smith. That's the one sun area at Candlestick at this hour, and it is tough. And Aldrete was fighting it all the way, but made a good play.
Tell you, it's tough when you see what he just did. He's fighting it between pitches, and you can see on the play he was really battling that.
Interesting, though, he didn't flip the glasses.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. He kept the glasses up there. It's a matter of getting accustomed to them.
I guess sometimes looking in like that, if you flip the glasses, you might lose the ball in the dark glasses.
That happens.
So here's Dan Dreesen. 1 ball and no strikes. Mike Krukow last year won 20 games, and prior to that he had never won as many as 15, and he won his 20 when he was 35 years old. In fact, you can go back for the last 80 some odd years and only 4 pitchers ever did that. Luke Hamlin and Dutch Leonard, Roger Wolf and Ray Herbert. So it was a rather phenomenal year for Mike Krukow. 2-0 the count. First inning, Coleman grounded out. Ozzie reached on an error by Robbie Thompson. Her line to right, and here is Dreesen. Mike Krukow going head-to-head with the Cardinals. Lifetime is 11-13. 3-4 since he came over to join the Giants. In 3 years, he's had 1 win in 7 starts against St. Louis. 3-0.
Krukow is really doing a job on Ozzie Smith, although with Dreesen hitting, you want that hole between first and second. Ozzie does have the green light to go whenever he wants, but Krukow is really changing his timing between his pitches, trying to freeze Ozzie.
And very high, so ball 4 to Dan Dreesen. And with runners at first and second and 2 out, it'll bring up Willie McGee. Willie McGee hitting left-handed. He said that last night when he hit that line drive to right field and Candy Maldonado went into the slide and the ball went over Maldonado's head, that when he slid into third base, wouldn't you know, he dragged his left hand, that sore wrist and thumb. So it was feeling very good until he got the triple. But it won't affect him nearly as much hitting left-handed as it did right-handed. Ball 1. So Krukow struggling a bit now. Mike won his last 2 starts of the year. As we said, came in here 4-0 after the All-Star break. He was on the disabled list with a weak right shoulder. 1-0.
Tastes great! Last spelling! Tastes great! At Miller Lite, we'd just like to say we're sorry if we might be responsible for prolonging the football strike. Here's hoping they settle it soon.
Tastes great! Last spelling! Tastes great!
Get a taste of it. Unexpected. There's
Raisin in the middle.
Kellogg's Raisin Squares.
Raisin in the middle.
Kellogg's Raisin Squares.
What a taste sensation. Whole wheat. Sweetened with raisin.
A combination with flair. A tasty little package.
With raisin in there.
Raisin in the middle.
Naturally sweet raisin.
Raisin in the middle.
Kellogg's Raisin Squares.
Raisin in the middle.
Kellogg's Raisin Squares.
And now, apple cinnamon squares.
Just scratch and match.
I won! A camera!
You could win one of the tens of thousands of prizes from Mr. Goodwrench. Just stop in for an oil change. Or just stop in. No purchase is necessary to get the game card. And while you're there, enter the Island Paradise Vacation Sweepstakes. You could win a trip to Hawaii, Manhattan, the Bahamas, or the Virgin Islands. So see Mr. Goodwrench.
Stop in for an oil change now. Or just stop in.
Mr. Goodwrench. No one knows your GM car better. No one.
Batteries can lose some life waiting to be bought. But only new Duracell packs have a freshness date that guarantees they'll live a long life, not a short one. Freshness dating from Duracell.
Sunday on Our House.
I made it to you.
Jesse falls for David's coach.
Another date?
But will team pressure tear them apart?
You quit the team.
Sunday.
Here's the Giant lineup that will try to fight back and get even tonight. Eddie Milner in center field and Kevin Mitchell at third. Jeffrey Leonard in left field and Will Clark at first. Mike Oldretti in right field. Bob Brenly behind the plate. Robbie Thompson, the second baseman. Jose Uribe at short. Mike Krukow, the pitcher. So tonight, no Chili Davis and no Candy Maldonado.
Defensively, great speed in the outfield. Coleman, McGee, and Ford. Pendleton is still kind of hobbling a little bit, but certainly able to play at third base. Smith, Hurd, Dreesen at first base. Pena behind the plate, and Cox the pitcher.
Big Danny Cox, 6'4", 225. If you break that record down, he was 8-3 before going on the disabled list, then came back to go 3-6. 4-2 lifetime, and he has been a Cardinal pitcher with some glistening postseason credentials. In 1985, he started against the New York Mets in number 159th game, beat the Mets to clinch the division. He won Game 3 of the LCS against Los Angeles when the Cardinals were down 0-2. And then he started number 2 in the World Series, and the Cardinals won that one. Eddie Milner takes a strike. Oh, 0-1 the count to Eddie. On deck, Kevin Mitchell.
That's the pitch that a lot of hitters think is a slider, but it was coach Mike Rourke calls it a breaking ball. It's not really a slider, but it's almost like the one McGrain throws. It breaks, but breaks bigger than a slider. Cox has a good fastball. He can change speeds, this big guy. He's a tough pitcher.
No balls, 2 strikes. Fastball and a hopper to the left of Ozzie Smith, who is on it to throw him out. 1 away. So Ozzie takes care of the first chance, and the batter now, Kevin Mitchell. Mitchell has 2 hits and 14 at-bats. And, of course, that was one of the dramatic moments in last night's game with 2 out, Mitchell at the plate, and Jeffrey Leonard on deck. And Mitchell flied to center to end the game. So Kevin with Jeffrey Leonard on deck. No score, bottom of the first inning. Fastball on the hands, and he really came after him.
He'll come after you. He'll move the ball around, and when he moves that ball around, Mike Rourke says the problem that he might have is when he tries to overthrow and throw too hard. But if he pitches like he can be a tough one.
Tough indeed. His finest game of the year definitely against San Diego. Check swing foul. Back in April against the Padres, Danny Cox became the first Cardinal pitcher in 7 years to pitch a complete game with no walks or strikeouts. Went all the way. Oh, 0-2 the count. Breaking ball away. One thing, we have a little more wind at the outset tonight than last night, and instead of blowing right to left, it's been swirling a little bit left to right. 1-2. Fastball, and that's hit to the left of Ozzie Smith, who comes up with it to take care of Kevin Mitchell. 2 down.
I think when you watch the flags here, all it tells you is that they're there. You really can't pay that much attention to them.
Here comes Jeffrey Leonard. Jeffrey Leonard hitting .545. He's been the big guy with a half a dozen hits, 3 home runs, 3 RBIs. 2 down, first inning, no score. Ball 1. When he was hit last night, he said in the aftermath of the game, I'd have charged the mound if it had been a regular season game.
Porsche was just trying to come inside, just like Cox did, and he was diving for the outside part of the plate, and he got clipped.
Inside again, ball 2. 2-0 to Jeffrey Leonard.
I'll tell you, though, I could think of some pitches with the way he runs the bases after a home run. It would be like a golden engraved invitation to be thrown at.
Could you imagine Bob Gibson watching him jog around the... 2-0. Ball 3. They're going to check it first. No swing, says Jim Quick. And the count 3-0. Eric Gregg is the plate umpire. Jim Quick, Bob Engel, and John Kibler on the line. Dave Pallone is on the right field foul line. Ed Montague on the left field foul line.
That was a good call. He stopped it.
3-0. In there. 3-1. Since Candlestick Park is completely enclosed, if you're an outfielder, you look at the flags to figure out the way the wind is blowing left to right. But the infield, it could very well be blowing the opposite way as it swirls. It missed the corner, ball 4. We were talking about Jeffrey Leonard and his home run trot, the one he calls the one flap down. And if you didn't see it, after this now, first, watch his left arm when he rounds first. That's the one flap down. There it goes, flap down.
Points that finger, indicated he'd hit it good, and then he puts the flap down, and around he goes.
So Jeffrey Leonard at first with 2 out on the walk given up by Danny Cox. And now Will Clark, as fine a hitter as I think we've seen in the league in quite a while.
He hit a ball last night. He hit a sinker that hit the fence about 1.5 feet from the top of it. And the only guy I can remember in my time, and I saw him mostly in spring training, was the great Ted Williams. He could hit those sinkers.
Boy, this fella can really swing the bat. One of the outstanding young hitters to come along. And I couldn't help but thinking in watching him swing the bat last night, sitting quietly and no doubt smiling in the stands had to be Stan Musial, who would certainly appreciate the way this guy swings the bat. Chopper wide to first. Fielded nicely by Dreesen. To Cox coming over. Good play by Dan. So for the Giants, no runs, no hits. They leave a man. And at the end of an inning, we're underway. Cardinals nothing, Giants nothing.
The advanced new Chevy half-ton is all new. Ford isn't. And the advantages stack up. Chevy gives you new 2-tier loading. Ford doesn't. More two-sided galvanized steel. A bigger, heavier frame. And on top of it all, more standard power with Vortec V6. Want a load of new features? Test drive the first all-new full-size pickup introduced in this decade.
The heartbeat of America.
The advanced new full-size Chevy.
That's today's Chevy truck.
I'm State Farm Agent Stan Griffin. Just talked to 2 of my car insurance policy holders, Bob and Doris Rhodes. They're off on another trip. For so-called retired folks, they sure get around. They get a real feeling of security, seeing all those State Farm offices just about anywhere they drive. If they should ever run into trouble, they know a State Farm agent is there to help them get back on the road again.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Today's small cars are tougher than ever on oil. Their high-compression engines not only rev high, they can run hotter than regular small car engines. Their searing heat can begin to break down an oil immediately. That's why there's Castrol, the only leading motor oil that in every grade provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol before your engine does something to get you heated up. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
My grandfather was a carpenter. My dad's a carpenter. Yes, building things is in my blood.
The Sawcat from the Industrial Tool Division of Black & Decker. Tough ball and roller bearings. Cut steel helical gears for precision and power, job after job.
You know, you start in the morning, there's nothing. And at the end of the day, there's proof you've been there.
Ask a man who's used one lately. Nothing beats a Black & Decker.
One thing about that chart, it tells you how calm it is in the morning, and then as the afternoon progresses, the winds always come up, although it is a beautiful 65. And here is Terry Pendleton, who is ready to go after injuring himself on the off day and failing to get into last night's game. 0-1 to Terry Pendleton. Breaking ball hit to center. Milner, a fine outfielder right there. One away. So for Krukow, 3 balls have been hit fairly hard. Tommy Herr lined to Aldretti, and now McGee and Pendleton hit the ball to Milner.
And watching the defense, Vin, and certainly the work of the advanced scouts, they've been playing most up in left center field. Here's Ford, and they're moving him a little bit. Lillis is the man, but center fielder Milner has kind of moved over to the right field side of second base. I expect him to pull.
Kurt Ford hit .285 during the regular year and promptly pulled. So Ford, a line drive single to right. In looking at Ford, in the game he played against Rick Russell, he pulled twice to right field, once to the first baseman, and one time went the other way.
So that's scouting report. That's what they do before the series begins, and then pitchers and catchers and manager and pitching coach usually go over them.
Tony Pena coming up. Pena, who hit .214 during the regular year, hitting a little bit better than that in the LCS, 222. Hit a long out to dead center last night. Right. 0-1. Giants won 46 of their 81 at home during the year. To Tony Pena. Ford with good speed down there at first base, stole 11.
Notice him taking a look at the coach. That's for confirmation from the first base coach. That's one of the things I'm sure Roger Craig picks up immediately.
And Pena hits one just by the diving Uribe, and Ford is on his way to third. Milner after him, no good. Down to second base goes Pena.
That's what the Cardinals do better than anybody, going from first to third, and you can see what happens on the throw. Pena, a catcher who can run, as Vin has been talking about it, he picks up the big base, and now the double play is eliminated, and the base hit scores 2.
So Pena, who looked like he was giving at the plate, I think he was expecting a pitch inside. He got a curveball, and it looked like his hips were almost in the Cardinal dugout, and he was able to reach out and hit it up the middle. So Pena, key base hit to put Cardinals at second and third with 1 out, and Danny Cox will be the batter.
Not only a key hit, a key base that he picked up. Boy, that changes the defense. The infield's got to play at third base. They're already in at first base or halfway, second and short.
Interesting what the 8th place hitter has done for the Cardinals so far in the LCS. Pena, Lawless, and Ford are hitting a combined .444 with 3 walks. That's some 8 spot.
Tough spot to hit from. I asked Danny Cox, what kind of a hitter are you? He said, improving. And one of the players walking next to him said he's come a long way.
0-1 the count to Danny. And he's in a hole now, 0-2. So Nick Leyva hanging out a sign, perhaps, although what kind of a sign can you hang out to a pitcher, no balls and 2 strikes? Hang in there?
Don't get hurt. Because I think Krukow will go right after him. He should, anyhow. Wouldn't be any play on.
1 out, second inning, no score, and the Cardinals threatening. Ground ball by the drawn-in infield. Ford scores. Down to third goes Pena, and the Cardinals lead 1-0.
I really must second-guess that pitch. He threw a curveball that Danny Cox just about came unglued. I mean, when he saw that big breaking curveball and that fastball he gave him was right down the middle where he could put the bat on it. Good piece of hitting by Danny Cox, and a great example of hitting a mistake. Watch where this fastball is. It's no strikes, no balls and 2 strikes, right down the middle. I mean, that's room service.
Danny Cox had 1 RBI during the regular year, and he equals that with 1 swing tonight. So first and third, still 1 out. The Cardinals leading 1-0, so that's a turnabout from last night's game. And Vince Coleman coming up.
Then it's bad enough to give a pitcher a ball like that to hit, but no balls and 2 strikes.
So Kurt Ford carried the run over. Pena is now at third base. Cox at first with 1 out. And Vince Coleman the batter. Ball 1 off speed. Coleman, of course, being such a speedster with over 100 stolen bases, he hit into 7 double plays all year, all 7 as a left-handed batter, and he's against the #1 Major League double play combination with the Giants.
They're really stacking him toward the left field line. A lot of room in right center.
Breaking ball, 1-1 to count.
Look at the defense. Now, even Uribe is way over there. Robbie Thompson has to cheat towards the bag, but look at Milner in center field, and there's the big gap in right center field.
1-1 to Vince Coleman. Giants trying to prevent and stop the bleeding. Last night, the Cardinals went on a tear and had 5 consecutive hits. Tonight, they have 3 straight, with Coleman and Smith back-to-back. 2-1 the count. Brenly not hiding behind that catcher's mitt as he did last night.
I'm sure one of the things he's talking about is, Mike, you got to be yourself. Forget about what's happened. And that last pitch looked like he tried to throw it a little bit too hard and got it out of the zone.
2-1 to Vince Coleman, who grounded out to Will Clark, and Krukow came over to handle it in the first inning. 2 balls, 1 strike. Ground ball into right field. Base hit. Pena will score. And Cox on his way to third. Aldretti's throw is not in time. Holding at first is Coleman. That's 4 consecutive hits for the Cardinals, and they lead 2-0.
And keep in mind what we said about the Cardinals being the best club going from first to third. You can talk all you want about speed being stealing bases, but that's not the yardstick. The yardstick is just what they're doing. Here's a pitcher, a big guy like Danny Cox. The Cardinals probably have the only pitching staff with shin splints from running.
And it is certainly paying off. Ford singled to right. Pena singled up the middle. Ford going to third. And Pena took second on the throw. Cox singles, scoring Ford with Pena taking third. Coleman singles, and Pena scores with Cox taking third. So it's a little bit of a track meet out there. 2-0 in favor of St. Louis. And left-handed Joe Price begins to stretch out in the Giant bullpen.
Why do Herzog and his coaches work on that in spring training? I mean, to them, when you're on first, second base, is not a place to stop and refuel. It's just a place along the route. Keep going.
4 consecutive hits for the Cardinals, and here is Ozzie Smith, who was aboard on the error charge to Robbie Thompson in the first inning. 0-1. When the Giants come up in the second inning, Whitey will have to contend with Aldretti, Brenly, and Thompson. Danny Cox down the line from third. Coleman away from first. And a line drive. Great catch by Thompson. Double play.
And let's tackle Tim Daniels' first league to score.
There's only one camera system you can buy that lets you hold the picture in your hand while you still hold the feeling in your heart. The Polaroid Spectra system.
The totally new Buick Regal. There's nothing like it on the American road.
Out on the horizon, the heart of a Buick, the start of a regal new day. The great American road was made for Regal. It's a Regal reward. It's the way it should be in this Regal American land. The great American road belongs to Buick.
I am master of ancient art of karate, kung fu, and the Chinese chuckle. But what about the socializing? I always reach for a cold Miller Lite. Light tastes great. Lightless are filling too. Hey, anybody want the pepperoni?
Ancient proverb, only one light beer, Miller Lite.
Yeah. Harry, Kalamazoo Tuesday, I can do that. Memphis Wednesday, I can do that. New York Thursday, I can do that. How am I going to do that?
No matter where you do business, Northwest can fly you there.
Raquel Welch in the role of a lifetime. The critics say Raquel Welch delivers. An excellent cast. Powerful. Raquel Welch in Right to Die, Monday.
Here's that play again. The line drive, the diving catch by Robbie Thompson. And then scrambles on his knee and doubles up Vince Coleman at first. The only way to stop 4 consecutive hits.
Robbie Thompson had that play in front of him, and he could see it. He wasn't going to take any chances to even get up, and that says it all right there.
Bottom of the second inning. Robbie Thompson perhaps really putting a stop to a runaway inning. If Ozzie Smith ball is through, the Cardinals are off to the races. As it is, they lead 2-0. And now the Giants will have Mike Aldretti, Bob Brenly, and Robbie Thompson against Danny Cox. When Danny Cox pitches to Mike Aldretti, he doesn't have to have too much of a memory to think back to July the 9th at St. Louis. He was struck by a line drive off the bat of Mike Aldretti. It fractured the 5th metatarsal in his right foot, causing him to be on the disabled list from the 10th of July to the 8th of August. So Mike Aldretti will start it off. Aldretti has done pretty well against Cox. He's had only one at-bat in the LCS. He's 0 for 1. And you can see that shin has to be protected. He beats a lot of foul balls down there. Ball 1. Aldretti was in the starting lineup for the opening game and came out when Cox couldn't pitch, and Greg Matthews did.
He really takes a positive approach to hitting. He visualizes his swing.
I tell you, he's got a lot of reasons to be positive. I'll give you 325 of them. That was his average during the year.
It's no accident, and he's got good mechanics. That swing of his is like Will Clark, a beauty.
2-0 in there. 2-1. Aldretti with cover boy looks. Born and raised in the magnificent Carmel area. Went to Stanford University. He was late on that fastball. That was by him.
Looked like he might have been trying to go the opposite field, thinking there might have been an off-speed pitch, but Cox had a little bit on that one.
2-2. And he goes the other way, and the ball is over Coleman's head, so he has to go back and get it. That thing was really slicing as it took off. 1 down.
Coleman, with his great speed, just kind of outruns that ball. He circles it. Always brings to mind, Mr. Rick used to say that hitting had value only on offense, fielding value only on defense, but speed, value on offense and defense. And you could see it with Vince Coleman. We know what he does on bases, but there's a case of speed, just making an easy play after kind of circling it.
Here's Bob Brenly, who has struggled a bit. He has 1 hit, a double to right, and he's been having trouble making contact. He struck out 5 times in 2 games. Brenly hit almost 270 during the regular year. 1 ball, no strike. Fastball in there.
Pattern has been the same on him. They've not given him a ball from the middle of the plate in, and they've been throwing breaking balls mostly, changing speeds on that outside corner. You saw Cox that time with the fastball.
1-1. And that's promptly looped to left field. Coleman coming on, drops for a hit. So Brenly, a 1-out single to left, and the batter will be Robbie Thompson. The Giant lineup has a different look to it tonight. When you play Milner and Aldretti, you get defense, but you don't get a lot of power. And when Chili Davis sits down, along with Candy Maldonado, that's 44 home runs between them. So it is a different Giant attack tonight. Robbie Thompson can handle that bat. He's already tried to squeeze once in the series. Brenly, who runs reasonably well for a catcher, held on by Dan Dreesen. Right. 0-1. Robbie hit .262 during the regular year, looking for his first hit in the LCS.
He can handle that bat. You can put a play on with him, obviously.
And on deck, you have Jose Uribe, who will hit left-handed. To Robbie Thompson. 1 out in the second, 2-0 St. Louis. Good breaking ball, a throw to first. Boy, the bottom came out of that thing.
He throws it. He can change speeds, but when he throws that, Mike Rourke, and it's interesting talking to him, he calls it a breaking ball. The play at first base is just one of those I'll be there things. Pena likes to throw, and it makes your ball club look good. It's not a set play. If he gets the ball and Greason's there, he's going to throw it.
0-2 the count to Robbie Thompson. Down he goes. That has been his problem all year. Robbie, who does have a little power, he had 10 home runs, but he's not that kind of a hitter. But he struck out over 90 times during the regular season.
Number 43. Breaking ball again. They got it high. Robbie just didn't get it.
Boy, did he open up. Looked like he was going to try and pull that thing.
Yep.
So Danny Cox strikes out Robbie Thompson for his first strikeout. And here's Jose Uribe. Uribe, during the regular year, hit over 300 as a left-handed batter. In there, 0-1.
I tell you, Cox has had great control of every pitch he has thrown. The fastball, he's changed up a little bit on taking something off that curveball and right on that outside corner. I don't think Uribe could have reached that pitch, and it was a strike.
And another one.
Breaking ball, same spot.
Looks like Uribe's really off the plate.
Well, that's what I say. That first pitch, I don't really believe he could reach it, Ben. And that's the first thing they teach is take a stance that you cover the plate and take it, cover the plate with your stride. But look where he is. And then he's not diving into it.
And he promptly pulls one down the right field line, hooking in the corner. It is a foul ball. Foul ball. All we could do is keep our eyes on Dave Pallone, the right field umpire, because the ball disappears from your view in the corner, and Pallone was right there to call it.
And he got that pitch inside. There you see Pallone.
He had a couple of big calls last night.
Yes, he did. And got them right. Not that it's so unusual, but in a pressure game, big calls.
So Uribe losing what appeared to be a chance for a double and an RBI on the count 0-2.
Just wonder if he'll come inside this time, because he got away with one, Cox did. I certainly wouldn't. He'd have to be around that corner.
On deck, Mike Krukow. Breaking ball, got him. That's strikeout number 2 for Danny Cox. No runs, 1 hit, and a man left. We'll be back after these messages, but first a look at the Golden Gate Bridge.
A rock and roller, a rebel, a bad girl, and a private eye. It's dynamite. Private Eye, Friday. Perfect.
Well, come on. You're the last one today. All right, what have you done?
I made a pizza.
Using cheap ingredients.
Oh, no, I wouldn't.
Skimping on the topping.
Father, I wouldn't.
And what are you here for?
I'm from the Round Table Pizza next door. Somebody ordered.
Round Table, one of the last honest pizzas.
Well, Rick, what do you think of Germany so far?
Bill, this isn't Germany. We're at Schroeder's.
It sure feels like Germany.
We're here to tell everyone about the Safeway and KABL Oktoberfest sweepstakes.
We are?
Yes, KABL and Safeway are giving away 25 free trips for 2 7 days and 6 nights to Germany at a Sheraton hotel, and they'll fly American Airlines.
Something special in the air.
Anyone over 18 can enter the Safeway and KABL Oktoberfest sweepstakes. Then listen to KABL to see who wins.
It sure feels like Germany.
I am divorced. I've been divorced for 8 years. This is the first house I have owned on my own. It's not easy. The buck stops with me, but I accept that.
Mary Ann Bixby wasn't alone when she got her home loan. She had Home Savings of America.
The day that the wallpaper went up in the hall, my daughter said, "Mom, this house sure looks like a female owns it." And I said, "That's fine."
Come home to Channel 4's post-game wrap-up show tonight.
Game 4 of the 1987 National League Championship Series is brought to you by Buick. And again this year, as it has for 85 years, the great American road belongs to Buick. And by Kmart, the saving place. We're proud to say you made us America's favorite store. We're going to the 3rd inning. Here in a very busy city of San Francisco. The fleet's in. About 11 ships came in, a couple of thousand sailors. We've had the Blue Angels flying overhead for the air show, and Game 4 of the LCS.
Blue Angels, they go through your room?
And now.
Fly right through your room, those guys.
Tommy Herr takes a strike in the count 0-1. I was just thinking, under the heading of the best laid plans of mice and men, all the study and the scouting about these two teams. the giant power, their ability to turn a double play, leading the major leagues in the earned run average. Then you look at the Cardinals and their great speed, a great defensive team, and how do you control their base running? And two of the more important hits in the LCS, a single to center by a pitcher to drive in 2, and tonight, a single to drive in 1. Greg Matthews and now Danny Cox. Tommy Herr lined out to right in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. And he lifts one into right center and deep. Already going behind Milner. It'll be Milner.
Casey Stengel, who said so many great things, he ain't so smart if they don't execute.
One down on a fly ball to Eddie Milner, and the batter will be Dan Dreesen. Dan Dreesen walked in the first inning, and Krukow got out of the jam as McGee lined out to Milner. Kevin Mitchell plays about even with the bag at third. Dreesen, a very experienced player. He's been in 4 LCS series. 3 with the Reds and this one with the Cardinals. Off speed, missed, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Danny Cox, bothered by the bad neck for game 1, but leading tonight. A drive into right center and deep. Milner and Aldretti on the track and makes the catch in front of Milner.
See a catch like that, the first thing you check is the flags, but I don't think they were blown that much, so it just didn't get it all. Already right on the track. There you see him.
Had the flags been blowing and the wind blowing the way it was in the first inning, that's a home run.
Might have been out of here, but he's got plenty of room yet. I said, oh, hey, listen, this is the way we like it.
When I heard Candy Maldonado say, we love it cold, windy, and when it's foggy, that's when we really love it. And he's from Puerto Rico, then I knew that Roger had really done a sales job.
He did.
Little roller down to first, no play. It's going to be ruled a foul ball. First base umpire Jim Quick maintaining that the ball hit Willie.
Craig, he wants to find out what's going on.
So McGee hit by his own batted ball. Remember last night when Robbie Thompson took off for first, acting like he felt he had been hit by the pitch, and then was called back and a run scored.
Well, Nippy Jones was the first one with the shoe polish, and then Gil Hodges. I'm trying to think of that Oakland play. They wore white shoes, and the umpire couldn't see them marked. Let's take a look at it, and we're going to have a replay of it and see what you think about it. Oh, missed it by 2 feet. And that shot. What do you think? Did you see it?
It looked like the ball fouled in front of him.
Yeah, look,
but at least from one angle. Now, maybe where Jim is looking down the barrel, it could be another story. Hard to really say. 1 and 2 the count. Chopper by the mound. Robbie Thompson charging. A little bit of a tricky hop, so he makes a good play to get him. That was a lot tougher than it first appeared because the ball angled suddenly at the last minute to Robbie Thompson's left.
Oh, he missed it 3 feet.
At the end of 2.5, 2-0 Cardinals.
I'm an easy guy to satisfy. I only want the best. Sierra is the pickup designed to pass the test. Performance with the spirit that I've never felt before. My new GMC Sierra, it's not just a truck anymore. My new GMC Sierra, it's not just a truck anymore. Oh no.
This evening, Ken Edwards had a vision of the future. Not of time travel or cities in space, but of his family. His daughter practicing law. His wife having her own business. Himself retired, writing detective stories. This evening, Ken Edwards had a vision of the future and knew what it would take to get him there. Plans for investments and protection from the equitable. We have great plans for you.
In McDonald's, we're tossing salads fresh all day. Every day.
I mean, it's fresh when you get it, and it's fresh when I pop it in my mouth.
It's like having somebody come in your own kitchen and make you a salad.
I come through the drive-thru. It's quick. It's easy.
McDonald's Chef Salad, Chicken Salad, Oriental, and Garden Salad. For a taste that's tossed fresh. It's really crisp and fresh.
My taste buds just went crazy.
Tossed fresh all day. McDonald's Salads.
Hi, I'm Ron Darling of the New York Mets. I had a choice, pitch in the World Series or watch the season premiere of Saturday Night Live. Lucky for me, I broke my hand.
Well, I don't mind I'm the other Clark as long as I'm not called Jack. You know, as long as people recognize me as Will, that's fine. But, you know, once they start calling me Jack, you know, Jack left here 4 years ago, and he's made a name for himself in St. Louis, and I'm trying to do that here in San Francisco. So, you know, we're two different people trying to do the same job with the same name, unfortunately.
And the other Clark, Jack. One Will the Thrill, and the other one they used to call Dude up here. Dude. Bottom of the third, 2-0 Cardinals. Pretty good hitting pitcher, Mike Krukow. Ball one. Krukow has hit 4 home runs in his career, and with 7 RBIs this year, he has 52 in his career, so he can swing the bat. 2 fastballs and 2 balls and no strikes. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Cardinals. No runs, 1 hit for the Giants. For a fellow who had a stiff neck, I'm surprised he doesn't have some kind of a turtleneck on here at Candlestick.
I tell you, as big as he is, he can pitch any way he wants.
Yeah, you're right. Ball 3.
How do you figure that? Here's a guy who's got pretty good control. The pitcher comes up, and he's got 3 balls, no strikes on him.
Danny Bradford Cox, born in Northampton, England. And that's down the pipe, 3-1.
I guess the tip-off on his personality is when he got on the plane, went down and beat up on that fellow, was giving his sister some problems.
3-1. And he walked him. Danny was not a particularly successful pitcher on the road. He was under 500 on the road this year, and he had a tough September. He won once and lost 5 times. So he walks the pitcher, and that'll bring up Milner, Mitchell, and Leonard.
Ozzie Smith came in to say something, and I'm sure he set up the defense, but in the process, you can bet me, he said, hey, don't be walking the other pitcher.
So Eddie Milner grounded to short in the first inning. Krukow disdains the warm-up jacket. That's a sure sign he thinks it's a pleasant evening here at Candlestick.
And he's got running gloves on both hands. Or he's going to be well-dressed when he gets the second, if he gets that.
0-1 to count to Eddie Milner. 2-0 Cardinals, bottom of the third. Fastball foul back, so Milner is in a jam, 0-2. Kevin Mitchell on deck. Milner had 4 home runs during the regular year. He's not that type of a hitter. But he strikes out, and for Danny Cox now, 3 strikeouts.
That's the unpredictability of baseball. Walks the pitcher and then throws nothing but strikes to Milner.
And Kevin Mitchell will be coming out.
Kevin Mitchell.
So Danny Cox, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. He's allowed 1 hit. Kevin Mitchell grounded to short in the first inning. Fastball hit the center, base hit. Krukow will go 90 feet at a time.
Not that Krukow could go to third base. There's no chance. I want to preface that. But it just shows you the difference in the theory of running. Danny Cox took off when he was at first base, thinking he could make third, and he did make it. But Krukow knew he was going to stop at second.
First and second with 1 out. 2-0 in favor of the Cardinals. Another look at the stride of Krukow.
He just knew he was going to stop at second base, whereas the Cardinals, pitchers included, they're going to head for everything.
So here's the first dramatic moment here at Candlestick. 2 on, and Jeffrey Leonard coming up. Leonard walked in the first inning. So Krukow at second, Mitchell at first, Leonard at the plate. You don't have very much speed out there.
They're going to just switch signs, but it was just handed to me that ball that Mitchell hit was 91 miles an hour, which was the fastest pitch that Cox has thrown, and that's one of the things they worry about if he tries to throw too hard.
What's that old line about trying to throw a fastball by Mitchell is like trying to throw a lamb chop past a wolf. And he really wolfed it. So first and second, one out, and Jeffrey Leonard at the plate. Breaking ball on the corner for a strike. 0-1. Cardinals 2. Giants trying to come back here in the third. Another breaking ball, but he wouldn't chase it. 1-1. After Leonard comes Will Clark. Now he tries a fastball inside, and he's behind 2-1.
He laid two breaking balls on the outside corner. That was the one he wanted to break the bat on and get the ground ball. Now Leonard, he's just looking at Zimmer for no other reason just to look at it, because you know he's got the green light, and he's going to be sitting on the pitch he is looking for.
Leonard with 19 home runs, 63 RBIs during the regular year. Fastball. 2-2.
Kind of surprised he chased that, Vin. I'll tell you why. The way they've been pitching him inside, I thought he'd be looking for something inside if it was a fastball.
Now, of course, it's not only the pitch, but the location.
It's got to give him a breaking ball. Get that ground ball. Let's see what happens.
2-2 to the Hackman, as they call him. And he chased it, and down he goes. Strikeout number 4 for Danny Cox, and it will bring up Will Clark, who grounded out in the first inning.
Good breaking ball. Watch it go right down the great spot. He could not have driven that anywhere. You could see it was all arms. He was bailing out.
And it looked like ball 3, borderline.
It was borderline, but 2 strikes, too close to take. And he's checking. Look at him. He's checking with Chili Davis.
2 on, 2 out, and Will Clark, the batter, 0 for 1. 2-0 Cardinals, bottom of the third. We're just warming up. Time, no pitch. Clark had backed out. Eric Gregg had called time, but Danny Cox was so intent that he wasn't looking. 35 home runs during the regular year for Will Clark. 2 of them came with 2 men on base. He just missed hitting one out last night when he doubled about a foot shy of the right field wall. Ball 1 started him with a low fastball. Cox walked Leonard in the first inning, gave up a single to Brenly in the second, and has given up a walk and a single in the third. It points up the fact that the Giants in the first 3 games left 18 men on, a few more than the Cardinals. 1-0. Right. 1 ball and 1 strike. Clark hit .308 during the regular year. One and 2. So Danny Cox getting tougher by the moment here.
He took something off the curveball with that one. That first pitch he threw in the dirt was a hard fastball, kind of overthrew it, and then he let up on this one. So I tell you, I doubt if Clark will get a fastball to hit.
Another left-hand hitter on deck, Mike Aldretti. 2 out. Krukow at second, Mitchell at first. Swung on and fouled at the plate. Just did get a piece of it.
Good breaking ball. You can see the bottom just fall right out of it.
Down and dirty by Danny Cox. Take another look at it.
When you see a pitch like this, don't tell me about optical illusion.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Will Clark. And the fastball away.
He's going to show him that pitch. When you talk to Pena and you talk to Lake about Danny Cox, they tell you that his ball, his fastball, is moving all the time. You can be right in the middle of the plate. It'll go one way or the other. He's got good movement on the fastball.
Deuce is wild to Will Clark. Hard breaking ball, and he golfed it and rolled it foul. Once again, we remind our viewers we will be selecting the NBC Miller Lite Player of the Game at the conclusion of the ballgame. It's 2-0 Cardinals, bottom of the third. Mike Krukow at second, Kevin Mitchell at first with 2 outs. Danny Cox struck out Eddie Milner and Jeffrey Leonard here in the third, and he has a 2-2 count on Will Clark. Three and two. That is a little bit of an offensive edge for the Giants, because at least they can get a slow man like Krukow in motion on the pitch, and Pena going out to talk to Danny Cox.
Just wants to make sure what he wants to do and where, because they'll have to bear down on Will Clark. You almost forget about those runners. It's true that Krukow and Mitchell will be breaking with 3 and 2, but here's the guy you got to bear down on. Your concentration got to be on Will Clark.
Full count to Will Clark. Danny Cox is working hard in this inning. He's made 21 pitches in the inning. 3 and 2. Runners go, and it's got him. What an inning as Danny Cox strikes out the side. That gives him 5 strikeouts in the game. A frustrated and angry Will Clark leaves, and a look back at a very special Olympic moment.
An Olympic moment brought to you by the Prudential, offering a full range of insurance and other financial services. The Prudential.
Mexico City, 1968. America's Al Order attempts to win his 4th consecutive Olympic discus gold medal. On his 3rd throw, he sets a new Olympic record. Al Order, the only track and field athlete in Olympic history to win an event 4 times in succession.
We go above and beyond just like you, above and beyond what we have to do, caring for what's special to you.
Only your Prudential representative goes above and beyond with a Pru review of your auto insurance.
We go above and beyond like you do, taking care to protect what's important to you. So rock the Prudential above and beyond.
Sunday, the NFL plays here when the Chiefs battle the Dolphins.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
A picture of an area they tell me was originally called Candlestick Point. I guess looking down at it, it looked somewhat like Candelabra. And that shot coming to you from the Goodyear Blimp Columbia from Los Angeles. The pilot, Captain Joel Chamberlain from Norwood, Massachusetts. By the way, up there, the wind is 35 knots at 1,000 feet. The Goodyear Blimp cruises at 35 miles per hour, going nowhere. You're talking about going nowhere.
I was going to say, talk about 35 knots. That's about the speed that helmet came off. Will, he's an intense young man. He's still thinking about that time at bat. Danny Cox, tough inning, but a good one for him, Ben.
In fact, that's the toughest thing of all, isn't it? To forget about that at-bat.
Oh, yeah. Especially if you think you had a pitch you can handle.
So Danny Cox strikes out the side in a jam, has struck out 5 in 3 innings. It remains 2-0 Cardinals, and Terry Pendleton, Kurt Ford, and Tony Pena in that order. All the damage has been done by the bottom of the Cardinal lineup. Ball 1.
I think that one pitch, if Krukow could get it back, is that one to Danny Cox.
Oh, sure.
Man, that was murder.
2 hits by 2 Cardinal pitchers. Big ones in the LCS. 2-0 the count to Terry Pendleton, who flied to center in the 2nd inning. On the corner. 2-1. Mike Krukow gave up 4 consecutive hits for 2 runs in the 2nd inning and was bailed out by Robbie Thompson converting Ozzie Smith's line drive into a double play. 2-2 to Terry Pendleton. In checking Danny Cox's performance during the year, it's the first time this year he struck out the side. He picked a dandy time to do it.
You know, if you look at Pendleton and Ford, the on-deck hitter, you think Pendleton's stronger, yet they don't think he can pull.
3-2.
Look at the defense. Milner in center field is over in left center field as we look at Ford, and yet with Ford, they pull way around. Look at that. Center field is usually a key man.
Pendleton rolls it to the right side to Robbie Thompson. For Pendleton, he has some sock. He had 12 home runs during the regular year. Kurt Ford had only 3 home runs. Admittedly, didn't have as many at-bats, but all you have to do is look at Pendleton's legs. His lower torso looks like it really belonged to somebody 6'5". Kurt Ford the other way around. Slim as a greyhound. Ball 1. We're in the 4th. The Cardinals 2 and the Giants nothing.
He had himself pretty good rip there, Mr. Scully.
He swung like a man who had hit 12 home runs, not 3.
He was going for the downs. I tell you, that on-deck approach that he had at Perry Como yawn that he gave it, a little deceiving there with that swing. He had a pretty good cut.
Kurt Ford is 5'10" and weighs in at 150. He is lighter than Ozzie Smith.
Built to run.
Time, no pitch.
Krukow, when he gets a sign, he doesn't fool around. I think that's a sign of a good pitcher. Defense always on their toes. Pitch fast.
Mike normally has excellent control. That's part of his game, his trademark. He has walked 1 so far.
Cardinal fans seated among the Cardinal wives caught it and got a Cardinal jacket on. These Giant fans letting him have it. There he is.
2-2. The count to Kurt Ford. Oh, now you want to talk about a rainbow. A big, slow curveball, and Ford goes back to the garage. What a pitch.
All that does when you get it is hypnotize you. You don't believe it when it starts out. It's almost like Rip Sewell's Eephus pitch. Look at this thing. It's clocked at 68 miles an hour with a strong wind behind it, but you talk about an infield fly. That was really a rainbow.
Especially throwing a rainbow to a guy who almost came out of his uniform with his first swing. All part of the liberal education. Pena, ground ball to Kevin Mitchell. Kevin throws him out, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. The last 7 in a row retired by Krukow at the end of 3.5 innings. Cardinals 2, Giants nothing.
It's a pathway that leads from here to tomorrow, from sea to shining sea. The great American road belongs to Buick. Whoa, it's a feeling of smoothness, of power and grace. The road up ahead into land. Yeah, the great American road belongs to Buick.
Most men know I model swimsuits for a famous sports magazine. But no one knows what beer I drink. Well, it's Miller Lite. For obvious reasons. I like light because it's less filling. But most of all, I like it because it tastes great. As for men, sometimes I just don't understand it. I think these guys have never seen a girl with a Miller Lite before.
For a perfect 10, there's only one light beer, Miller Lite.
200 years ago, our Constitution was born, and with it the promise that we, the people, could live in freedom as one nation. To capture the spirit of that precious promise, the United States Mint has created the official United States Constitution coins in silver or gold. Now and forever. Sears Banks and Savings and Loans.
Even though you faithfully pay your premiums, why do some insurance companies make you feel so guilty?
I had an accident.
You have an estimate, 2 estimates, 3 estimates.
And a note from your mother.
My mother?
Leave it to the good hands, people.
In most cases, Allstate will give you a settlement on the spot without 3 estimates or a note from your mother.
How do we know it's her writing?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
Cardinals leading the Giants 2-0. Good-natured fan with a little propeller on top of his cap. The hum baby signs and the beat St. Louis. And as the beat goes on in the stands, Danny Cox quietly getting ready to face a charge from Mike Aldretti, Bob Brenly, and Robbie Thompson. Aldretti flied to left field in the 2nd inning. Cox with 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. He's allowed 2 hits and no runs. Starts breaking ball, but it's too low. Ball 1. And the fastball is low, so he's behind 2-0. It just serves up the point of how difficult it is to come off that bench. 2-0 to Mike Aldretti. Ground ball to first. Danny Dreesen will hang one to Danny Cox coming over. So just like that, 1 away. And the batter will be Bob Brenly. Bob Brenly single to left in the 2nd inning, 1 for 1. Prior to this year, Brenly didn't have a hit against Cox. He's 5 for 8 against him this year, so he's catching up. Big crowd, but they are silenced, just as the large crowd at Busch Stadium sat on their hands as Dave Rebecki was pitching a 2-hitter. This big crowd here doesn't have anything to holler about because Danny Cox has the Giants shut down into the 4th.
He's showing it from that mound. He stands there like he knows he's in control.
0-1, the count to Bob Brenly. Fastball got the corner at the knees. 0-2.
He's working Brenly pretty tough. Inside, outside, changing speeds. He's really been carving him.
Fouled off. Two to Brenly, 1 away in the 4th. 2-0 St. Louis. Game 4 tomorrow. Rick Russell and Greg Matthews. Got him on the outside corner. So Brenly becomes the 6th strikeout for Danny Cox. And with 2 down in the 4th, Robbie Thompson the batter.
He's been laying the breaking ball out there, coming inside with the fastball, but this time it's a fastball, and Gary Gregg says it caught the corner, and Brenly's out on strikes.
Brenly not exactly cheering Eric Gregg's call of that pitch. He had to get it out of his system. Check swing on a breaking ball, strike 1.
And that's one of the advantages of catching, if you want to call it that. When he gets back there, Brenly will be telling him all about it. Okay, you call on me, give my pitcher that.
Yeah, I was wondering about that, whether you do get on the umpire or whether you figure it might have an adverse effect on your own pitcher.
Well, it's more conversational.
1-1 to count to Robbie Thompson.
I think your choice of words is more suitable for family viewing.
Gotcha.
See, what he did there was rated R, but behind the plate, you're PG.
1 ball and 1 strike to count. And a drive into deep left field. Back to the wall goes Coleman, gone. Robbie Thompson, who hit 10 during the regular year, hits one of those no doubt about it home runs. And it is Cardinals 2, Giants 1, and the crowd finally has a chance to make some noise.
Got that ball up in the zone, and Robbie Thompson was waiting for it. He really did hit it hard.
Now the batter is Jose Uribe with 2 out, but boy, has Thompson shaken up the stick. Change, ball 1.
He hit it hard. Cox's reaction, he's watching it all the way, but he knows it's gone.
Fly ball to right field, in his tracks, Kurt Ford. And that will be that, but it's a run on the home run by Robbie Thompson. At the end of 4, Cardinals 2, Giants 1. We'll be back after these messages, but first, a look at Alcatraz. What a mournful place in the world.
So my team didn't make it this year. So what do I look forward to after the playoffs? Watching Crime Story on Tuesday. At least those guys know what a hit really is.
For 40 years, my father worked and saved and invested so that we might have a better time of it than he had. Now he's retiring. And I'm thinking that none of us really changed the world in our lifetime.
And he cared.
But we can touch the people around us in ways that last.
God bless you.
He has. I hope I do as well.
Our friend, Bob Green.
When you invest, it's not just your money. It's your hopes, your dreams, your future. The Franklin Group of Mutual Funds.
Los Angeles, 12 million people, and they want your water.
Press room. They introduced another bill to take water from the Delta and ship it to the South. Not again.
For Chronicle reporters Carl Nolte and Jerry Roberts, it's a story that never goes away.
It's not another peripheral canal. That's dead.
Senator Ayala said the water's just floating around up there, serving no good purpose.
Do you think the corporate farmers in the valley care about the little fishies in the Delta?
We got the money, we got the power, we got the votes. We'll get the water.
Their bill was passed with some environmental protection for the bay, but the corporate interests still weren't satisfied.
They went around the legislature and killed the safeguards for the bay.
But when the Chronicle broke the story, the corporate interests were defeated.
Your reporting is biased and slanted.
The Chronicle.
That damn newspaper will never be satisfied.
Great people make a great paper. Order now and get it, half price.
Come home to Channel 4's post-game wrap-up show tonight.
What do they tell you? Don't forget to smell the flowers along the way. How could you possibly come here and not take a moment out to look at a sunset over the Pacific? Magnificent. Danny Cox isn't thinking about sunsets at all. He's thinking about that ball sailing over the left field wall.
Exactly, trying to wipe it from his mind. There's Eddie Vargo, former National League umpire. Last night I had him working out the commissioner's office, and National League President Bart Giamatti says, hey, he works for me and I'm proud of it. So there he is.
Check swing foul. That got a little bit of Bob Brenly, but he's okay.
Brenly, I think, had the line that says it for all catchers. By the end of the season, you feel like a used car.
0-1. Strike 2. Remember, Danny Cox had that key base hit in the second inning on an 0-2 pitch.
And it was a fastball that he hit. Let's see what he throws this time. If it's not Uncle Charlie. Bet.
Chasing the breaking ball and fouled a piece away. Mike Krukow trailing 2-1 here in the 5th. He's allowed 2 runs and 4 hits, but there were 4 consecutive singles in the second inning. And boy, did he throw him a breaking ball that time.
He's not about to give him another fastball, but it burned him in that second inning, and he just threw it out of the strike zone even, and Cox chased it.
That's 8 in a row retired by Mike Krukow. Watch this thing sail.
Look how far out of the zone it is. He couldn't reach that with a pull ball this pull.
Vince Coleman coming up. Grounded out and single to right. 1 for 2.
Speed really moves him in. Mitchell's in at third. Clark comes in at first.
And the outfield swung the other way with the gap in right center. One ball and no strikes. That might have been an effort to throw that same rainbow he threw Kurt Ford, but not very much happened with it.
No, it kind of squibbed out. It's that old soap bar
time.
I don't like that. I think he's got to call that a strike. I really do.
And Brenly is furious.
I don't blame him. I would argue too, because he was in his delivery and all of a sudden he walks out. I don't blame him at all. I think Coleman waited too long to get out of there. I'd argue it. I really would.
I think basically the umpire is always fearful that when the hitter calls time, he is then vulnerable to being hit by a pitch.
Yeah, but look at that. Look where he was, man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're going to call time, and look at Brenly's arguing already.
All right, now let's see. And, of course, there's no love lost, as we mentioned earlier, between Krukow and Vince Coleman. 2 balls and no strikes to count.
You see it, too. There's something going on, believe me.
Oh, yeah. Ever since Krukow went after Coleman and Coleman got him in the ribs. He's behind now, 3-0.
So he's catching him between the hitch. When Coleman tries to use it to time, he puts that bat out there, and he caught him between the hitch.
That's in there. 3-1 to count to Vince Coleman. 1 out in the 5th. 2-1 St. Louis. Mike Krukow and Danny Cox. On deck, Ozzie Smith.
See, he's trying to time him there. They caught him again.
And another strike. You have to wait a little while for Eric Gregg. He throws a phantom right hand quite a bit after the fact.
Right there, right there. See, Coleman just does get that bat back, and that's what Krukow's trying to do, is catch him.
And that's hit foul off third, down the line and out of play. Each umpire has his own style, and you really have to learn it, or all of a sudden you're calling pitches either too early. With Eric, you have to wait until he straightens up and actually throws that right hand. Roller slowly. Robbie Thompson has trouble getting it out of his glove. Throws it, and it gets by Will Clark. Coleman will hold at second base.
The grass slowed it up, and that's the one thing that speed will do. Infielders, they get edgy. They know who's running. They know they have to hurry. They know they have to handle the ball cleanly. Robbie Thompson comes up with it. He's trying to hurry. It can't get out of his glove. Really throws a pound ball over there. Will Clark can't come up with it. And Vince Coleman actually kicked the ball, not intentionally, or they would send him back, and he picks up an extra base. And he says that for him, it's easier to steal third than it is second, so you got to watch him.
It's going to go as an infield single. On a roller to Robbie Thompson. He couldn't get it out of his glove. And then the throw accounts for his presence at second base. So it's 1-1. Base hit and an error. And the error now is going to be charged to Will Clark.
There it is. Interesting scoring.
Very. Well, Nick Peters and Dave Nightingale are the official scorers. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-1.
The disadvantage that Coleman has is he got left-hand batters up there, and Smith, Hurt, Dreesen, McGee, Pendleton, all Ford, all left-hand batters. So Brenly's got a good view of Coleman if he does decide to break.
Uribe bird-dogging him, but no throw. Jose riding his back, trying to take a step or two away from him.
A little jockeying.
1 ball, 1 strike. And that's hit to right. Aldrete is coming up in a hurry. Makes the diving catch. Throws to second too late. A clutch play by Mike Aldrete.
That ball was hit off the handle. Looked like it was going to drop in. Aldrete, the swing looked like it was going to make that ball carry a little farther. Now watch him extend that glove, and usually when you do that, the elbow hits the ground and jars loose, but he's able to hold it. Clutch play is right, Ben.
Big play by Mike Aldretti. The crowd reacting a second time. They show it on the screen in center field, and Mike Krukow turned around to take another look at Mike's great catch. So 2 down. Vince Coleman at second base, and Ozzy's wondering what he has to do to get a base hit. And here is Tommy Herr, lined out to right and flied to center. And they flash on the board, and if you don't know it, you wouldn't understand what it means. They flash big letters, Mario, Mario. We mentioned last night the Giants call Mike Aldretti Mario. They tie his name up with Mario Andretti. 0-1 to count to Tommy Herr. And a fake to second. Reminds me of the old scoreboard in Ebbets Field. If you didn't know the Dodger nicknames, you wouldn't know who they were talking about. Scoonge and Mooney and Cam, Pee-wee. 0-1.
Perillo,
Yep.
Hodges,
Mooney was.
Yeah.
Yep.
This Scoonge is probably in Reading watching this game.
I wouldn't be surprised. Breaking ball in on the hands, taken foul, and the count 0-2. If you joined us a little late with 1 out in the second inning, the Cardinals had 4 consecutive singles for 2 runs. In the bottom of the 4th with 2 out, Robbie Thompson hit a home run, and that's it. Cardinals 2, Giants 1, 2 down, top of the 5th. When the Giants bat in the bottom of the 5th, Krukow due to start it off, then Milner and Mitchell. No balls and 2 strikes to Tommy Herr, trying to pick up Coleman from second base. And boy, what a job Uribe is doing, trying to cut down Coleman's lead.
Krukow keeps shaking off the signs.
No balls, 2 strikes. 1-2. Tommy Herr with 1 hit in 14 at-bats in the LCS. Tommy had the base hit in the 4th inning of the Dave Dravecky game. And it turned out to be the last Cardinal hit that day. One ball, 2 strikes. Shot foul behind Rich Hacker outside first. Boy, Uribe was directly behind Vince Coleman, and he was jumping up and down almost as if it was going to register on the Richter scale to give Coleman the shudders. He was really doing a job on him.
Speed is so disruptive, and Coleman, in addition to being so fast, is daring, and Uribe is trying to keep him close. And Vince says doing everything because if nothing else, you want to cut down his lead, maybe get a play at the plate. Tend to doubt it with the kind of speed that Coleman's got.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Tommy Herr. And he golfs one down to Will Clark, who takes it to the bag, and they leave Coleman at second. A base hit and an error. And Krukow finally gets the last out. And it was quite a battle with Tommy Herr. He was furious when they called time on Coleman. And at the end of 4 1/2, Cardinals 2, Giants 1, thanks to Mike Aldretti.
At Miller Lite, we'd just like to say we're sorry if we might be responsible for prolonging the football strike. Here's hoping they settle it soon.
The totally new Buick Regal. There's nothing like it on the American road.
Out on the horizon, the heart of a Buick, the start of a regal new day. The great American road was made for Regal. It's a Regal reward, it's the way it should be in this Regal American land. The great American road belongs to Buick.
They'll cut me right off the bottom line.
Maybe I better not show it to him.
No doubt in my mind. It's a case we can win.
There's one airline that knows its business so well, it actually lets you keep your mind on yours.
Three-part strategy.
United. Rededicated to giving you the service you deserve.
Our guys flying tonight. Theirs tomorrow. We all fly on Thursday.
Come fly the friendly skies.
I got this covered or what?
It's your new telephone from AT&T. It's cordless, has 2 channels for clarity, and knows you have more to do than just talk on the phone.
No, you're not keeping me from anything.
And you found it at Kmart. Here's Kmart, America's favorite store.
It's game 4. The Cardinals are leading 2-1, and you're thinking, just how important is this game?
Oh, for the Giants, if the Cardinals win it, you're going to start to hear the hammer hit the nails. And the Cardinals, that really sets their pitching up great. So any one you want to choose, big game.
Whoever wins this one, you then have Russell, who pitches exceptionally well here, either to give them a 1-game up and go to St. Louis and look at Tudor. So we'll see, as maybe game 4 will give us the answer to the '87 National League Championship Series. Mike Krukow to start it off. 4-1. 2-1 in favor of St. Louis. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Krukow, you remember, walked in the 3rd. Danny Cox has struck out a half a dozen in 4 innings. Ground ball back a 3rd. Right there is Terry Pendleton. 1 away. Eddie Milner will be coming up. Milner has grounded to short and struck out. Interesting, as you look at Danny Cox, and we're counting his pitches here in the booth, and that's usually been the pattern. The first 70 pitches of any game he works, he's difficult. Then he tires, and the hitters catch up to him. Well, he has made 69 pitches right now.
Surprised a guy like Milner wouldn't try, as Pena works on his mask, wouldn't try the bunt the way that grass is.
Oh, yeah, I was surprised. Willie McGee, with a painful wrist, hitting right-handed, didn't try to bunt last night.
The grass really slow, and that ball in batting practice, when it hits there, I mean, it just kind of lays there. It's a kind of, if you're playing golf, you say, man, what a great lie I have.
Milner had only 4 home runs during the regular year, so you'd expect him. And the right side of the infield is back. But he's hacking and fouls it away. 0-1. Cardinals 2 runs, 5 hits. They had 4 consecutive hits for the 2 runs. Giants 1 run, 3 hits.
Speaking of hacking, it reminds me the Giants really did a nice thing. They asked Hank Sauer, who was a pretty good hacker, and Junior Thompson and Bob Kennedy to throw out the first ball for all the years they've spent with the organization. Kind of neat.
And how? 0-1. And that's hit to right field. Ford coming up for it. So 2 down in the 5th. And the batter will be Kevin Mitchell. On the pregame show, when they were showing the Welcome to San Francisco parade, they had a quick shot of 2 Giants in an open convertible waving to the crowd, the confetti coming down. One was Willie Mays, and the other fella was Hank Sauer.
Good hitter, Big Henry. I played with him at the Cubs.
Kevin Mitchell grounded to short, single to center. He's 1 for 2. Remember, he hit that 91-mile-an-hour fastball for the base hit. He gets one inside. Ball 1.
Kevin reports to the clubhouse like he was the manager. Night game, he comes at noon.
And lines a breaking ball down the left field line. Going over in the corner is Coleman. And Mitchell into second base with a stand-up double. And the tying run is out there with 2 out. And Jeffrey Leonard coming up.
Hamilton gets up there, but not high enough. Down the line. He gives it a good effort. It's as high as he could get, but it's a 2-base hit.
In case you wonder, Terry Pendleton is only 5'9", so he really went to the top rung of the ladder. And Vince Coleman runs it down in the corner. So it is 2-1 Cardinals. The Giants have the tying run at second base in Mitchell and Leonard, who has walked and struck out at the plate. And he hits a fastball in the air to left field. Coleman going back to the track, to the wall, leaps in the air. It's gone. Home run.
He stopped too. Watch this trot.
The flags are hanging limply in center field, and that fly ball, when it left, Coleman went back as if he had a play, and suddenly it looked like a jet stream carried it over.
Something caught it, and this crowd really going bonkers, and they'll want a curtain call. It'll be interesting to see what the Hackman does.
Remember last night we caught him saying, "Let him wait." We'll see what he does tonight. Candlestick.
They want to. Eric Gregg is motioning to come on out. That's the first time I've seen that. They want to get on with the game. Watch Coleman now. He's not so sure. He thinks now, he says, yeah. Now Coleman, he thinks he's got to play.
And watch the kids behind the fence, because when they go after it, you know the ball has eluded the outfielder.
I asked Leonard about saying make him wait. He had quite an answer.
1-1 to Will Clark. What'd he say?
He said it wasn't the fans. He wanted the Cardinals to wait, and so he could upset them. Here's that ball again. Now Coleman runs out of room, and there that ball just gets over the glove.
1 ball and 1 strike. The count to Will Clark. 3-2 San Francisco in the 5th. And that's ball 2. For most home runs in the National League Championship Series, Steve Garvey, 4, 1978, 4 games. Bob Robertson, 4, 1971, 4 games for Pittsburgh. Jeffrey Leonard, 4 in 87, base hit for Clark.
Coleman finds where he is, gets to the fence, feels it. Look at those kids fight for it.
Yeah, that's always the tip-off. And Leonard, once he sees the kids scramble, otherwise you're not sure if the outfielder's caught it or not.
He didn't have the flap down, Vin. He just kind of, when we got to second base, though, he stops. And Danny Cox, he's trying to draw that ball back. Here's his reaction.
Remember, we told you about Danny Cox and 70 pitches. He has crossed over the 70 mark, and the Giants are leading 3-2. So Danny Cox trying to weather a storm here in the 5th inning. 3-2 San Francisco. Will Clark at first and Mike Aldretti. Slide to left, grounded out, and of course, remember Aldretti's diving catch. Another look at Hackman. That's Mike Lacoste sitting there with him. Oh, and 1 to count to Mike Aldretti. We mentioned at the start of the game that when Cox and Krukow hooked up twice this year, they were both great games. In one game, Cox led 7-2. The Giants eventually got off the floor and won. In the other game, it went into extra innings. The Giants got 3 in the top of the 10th, and the Cardinals fought back for 4 in the bottom of the 10th to win it. So we figure to have another Donnybrook tonight. And that's line to center. Base hit. McGee is on it, and Clark will hold at second. What Clark did was make McGee throw, and he almost threw it away.
He threw it between third and home, and Danny Cox had to cut it off before it got to Pena. He didn't have enough time to back up Pena, so he cut it off. And now Dreesen, as we look at Whitey Herzog, Dreesen comes in to say something to Cox.
Boy, that 70 pitch mark that we talked about has really become prophetic, because after the 70 pitches, Mitchell doubled, Leonard homered, Clark singled, Aldretti singled. So the last 4 hitters, once he crossed over the 70 pitch mark, have all registered with a base hit, and Mike Rourke going out to the mound. Down in the bullpen, Ricky Horton, who is the long man in Whitey Herzog's thinking tonight. Horton is first man up here in the 5th inning. The first 2 men made out. Krukow grounded out, Milner flied out, and then Herzog suddenly saw Danny Cox cross over the 70. And when he did, Mitchell doubled. Leonard, the long home run. Clark, the single to right. Aldretti, the single to center.
Tell you, something happened all right, and Mike Rourke going out there to try to buy a little bit of time to get that bullpen a little bit of chance to loosen up. It happened in a hurry.
And the batter is Bob Brenly, who singled to left and struck out. 1 for 2. Hard breaking ball, and Brenly chased it.
They've been laying that ball out there, and it's a difficult pitch to hit. And, of course, Cox spotted it well against Brenly.
Danny Cox with a half a dozen strikeouts, but he's also given up 2 home runs and a double. 1 ball, 1 strike. Will Clark at second, Mike Aldretti at first, 2 outs. So where the Cardinals had 4 consecutive singles for their 2 runs in the second, the Giants now have had 4 consecutive hits with 2 out in the 5th. Giants lead 3-2. Fastball and a comebacker. Cox to Danny Dreesen, and the inning is over. 2 big runs, 4 hits, and the Hackman has been heard from again. At the end of 5, the Giants 3 and the Cardinals 2. Upcoming, Dreesen, McGee, and Pendleton.
300. You know what I did today? I tried to punch out a telephone at the airport. My plane was late, and I wanted to let my secretary know. It's high noon in the office. Nobody's picking up. So I started to count the rings. I get up to 25. Finally, I get some guy in the lobby. Is Ada there? I had no idea. Can he transfer me? Well, he's not sure, but he'll give it a try. Silence. More silence. Then I hear a little click. I know I'm cut off.
Hello?
I wanted to kill that phone with my bare hands. What if I'd been a client? And that's when I decide, never again. No more hit or miss. From now on, we're going to go with a system we can trust. One that handles every call, every message like it's worth $1 million. We're a service business. We get paid for our brains. We can't afford a communication system that makes it look like we haven't got any.
The fundamentals. The harder you work on them, the better you get. That's why at Raytheon Company, we admire people like Wade Boggs. People who are dedicated to perfecting the fundamentals, practicing them over and over and over until they're flawless. At Raytheon, we do the same thing, because in electronics, aviation, appliances, and energy, we believe quality starts with fundamentals.
If you had all the experience of yesterday, with all the skill and innovation of today, you couldn't lose. Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Carry the caring card.
Jeffrey Leonard, with 4 home runs, 5 RBIs in the league championship series, has given the Giants a 3-2 lead. And now the Cardinals try to come battling back with Dan Dreesen, Willie McGee, and Terry Pendleton. Half swing, it will cost a strike. 0-2.
That's one of those home runs, too, that's you'd have to call it a candlestick unexplainable because it looked like a high fly ball, but something seemed to carry it.
0-2 the count. Big slow rainbow, but he missed. That was the Kurt Ford pitch, but it was just off the corner.
The flags now are blowing towards right field, but I know both of us looked at the flags as soon as that ball went over, and they were limp.
1-2 the count. And a breaking ball got him looking. Big rainbow curve.
Almost like the blooper pitch, and it's a change of speed, but also the break on it is something. Look how high it starts and look where it ends up. It almost hypnotizes you what it does.
It's clocked at 69 miles per hour. And with 1 out in the 6th inning, Willie McGee, the batter, lined out to center and grounded out. Willie 0 for 2. Fastball, full foul.
69 miles an hour, and you possible to get jammed with it. Who are you going to tell I was jammed on a 69 mile an hour pitch?
0-1. Giants trying to tie it up at 2 games apiece. The Cardinals trying to open it up 3 games to 1. On the corner. 0-2. Krukow has allowed a squib single to Vince Coleman in the 5th inning. He only hit since the 2nd. Ground ball to the left of Uribe. Base hit for Willie McGee. We've been charting the breeze or wind, and at the same time you can see the temperature now has dipped below 60. It is cooler in the ballpark tonight and windier than at any time last night. McGee at first, Terry Pendleton the batter. Willie McGee has stolen 16 out of 20 during the regular season, and he might try to put some heat on Krukow. He's the tying run. They're right after him.
Brenly gets that sign from Craig, and the throw over there.
On deck, Kurt Ford. Missed the inside corner. 1 ball and no strikes. Pendleton staring at Dick Labor to see if there might be a play on.
McGee not running as much as he used to. Still running, but the bad leg kind of slowed him up a little bit.
Pendleton, and it's a thought for tonight especially, he grounded into 18 double plays during the year. Most of them left-handed. And remember, he is playing on a sore left ankle. In fact, we were asking Whitey before the game last night if they had brought Craig Lefferts in to pitch to Dan Dreesen, would you have hit with Pendleton? And he said, no, I was afraid he couldn't run. I would have had Forsch come up, if I could have, to sacrifice. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the Giant bullpen, racetrack Kelly Downs, the right-hander, and Joe Price, the left-hander. One and one. And a pitch out. Interesting, too, you notice how Brenly backhanded the pitch out. It was almost over the plate.
That was not a good pitch out. Is what he got it too close to the plate is what he did.
And now.
Look at McGee staring down at Leyva, talking to himself as Will Clark tries to break his concentration.
2-1 to count to Pendleton. And there he goes. A breaking ball hit to the hole at short, and Uribe the long way to get Pendleton. So McGee keeps the Cardinals out of the double play as he moves up a notch. So the tying run is at second, and Kurt Ford coming up.
It's a straight steal. You can see McGee. He's got that head now. He hears the ball hit. He finds the ball, and he's going to stop there. Uribe took a lot of time because Pendleton, with that bad leg, wasn't really flying down the line.
Right fielder. So Willie McGee, the tying run at second base in the 6th inning. Giants leading 3-2, and Kurt Ford, who singled to right and struck out. When he singled in the 2nd inning, that was the first of 4 consecutive Cardinal hits. And he starts him with that rainbow, and it's a strike. That was the pitch that struck him out in the 4th inning.
That really puts a thought in your head if you're a hitter. You say, he struck me out the last time. This time he starts me on it.
0-1. Fastball that he missed away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, that was a commercial, then. He was just going to show him that.
Ford did well during the regular year with men in scoring position. He hit over 300. And there's a ground ball sharply to Clark, and Will takes it to the bag. No runs, 1 hit. McGee left at second at the end of 5 1/2. Giants 3, Cardinals 2.
If you were stranded on an island, what kind of car would you want? On this island, you'd want the legendary reliability of Toyota Camry. You'd want responsive 16-valve power and front-wheel drive to ease your way through savage traffic in very civilized room and comfort. And of course, you'd want Camry style, just to impress the natives. Toyota quality. Who could ask for anything more?
You can see the dream of success in the eyes of people all across America. At Citicorp, we understand the dream. That's why, as Citicorp and Citibank, we've become America's largest financial services organization, already helping 1 in every 5 American families, with more home mortgages, more student loans, more MasterCard and Visa cards than any other company. We'd like you to get to know us better. Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
Think we're going to make it? If this thing does. Well, at least we're flying back in a 747. Aren't we?
Northwest has an all-747 fleet to and from the Far East.
Yeah. Harry, Kalamazoo Tuesday, I can do that. Memphis Wednesday, I can do that. New York Thursday, I can do that. How am I going to do that?
No matter where you do business, Northwest can fly you there.
It's America's Day at the races. The Breeders' Cup, coming November 21st to NBC.
Game 4 of the National League Championship Series. The Giants battling to get even, leading the Cardinals 3-2. And serenely up in the night, our Goodyear blimp plods on. Mike Krukow has shut down the Cardinals since the 2nd inning. He's allowed just 2 hits. He's still hot, I think, the time that Coleman backed out on what he thought was a strike. But maybe that's helped him and gotten the adrenaline pumped.
Whatever, Norm Sherry, the guru, just kind of settled him down.
Robbie Thompson, who struck out but then homered in the 4th inning. And just as Jim Lindemann's home run last night seemed to give the Cardinals a lift, Robbie Thompson's home run in the 4th inning got the Giants going. One ball and 1 strike.
Boy, the little things that make decisions for managers is Lindemann batting 4th, for example. Whitey Herzog talking to him today, he said, well, he's hit 4th. I couldn't put Willie McGee there. He doesn't like it. Terry Pendleton, I put him there. He overswings. He had been there. At least I knew that.
Fastball, and he was late, jammed on it. Good pitch by Cox, and the count 1-2. Whitey mulling over, I'm sure, the fact trailing by a run, and Danny Cox is due to bat 2nd in the 7th inning. But, of course, he has only 8 pitchers available. He had Ricky Horton up earlier. No one throwing now. 1-2 the count to Robbie Thompson. Fastball again.
That just reminds me, he made a decision, remember, before the series began, going with 8 pitchers.
Yeah.
If he goes the other way and uses 1 more pitcher, he doesn't have Lawless that he could use, which he did last night. So another one of those decisions that'll get lost in the process.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Just missed with the breaking ball. 2-2. Three runs, 7 hits for the Giants. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Cardinals. Breaking ball hit the straightaway center, and Willie McGee is there. 1 down. Jose Uribe, the switch-hitting shortstop, struck out and flied to right. 0 for 2. He just missed getting an extra base hit prior to striking out in the second inning.
That ball he hit for almost the base hit you're talking about, that almost base hit, Vin, was the only pitch that Cox gave him inside. He was kind of working outside, and he got the one fastball in.
Ball 1-0 to Jose Uribe. Normally, if a hitter is crowding the plate, he's just daring you to pitch away, and that would be his strength. When you see somebody stand as far away from the plate as he does, what do you think about it? He hits a pop fly back of first down the line. Dreesen, Herr, and Ford. Tommy Herr. What about that position in the box?
To answer your question, the first thing you'd look at is his stride. Is he diving in? Because some guys are deep in the batter's box and they come right into the plate. But where he's standing, I would keep it on that outside corner. And every once in a while, just come inside, way inside, to move him back and keep him there.
2 down in the 6th inning. 3-2 Giants, and Mike Krukow walked and grounded out coming up. No one throwing in the Cardinal pen for the moment, so we assume that Danny Cox will take his at-bat in the 7th. We'll see. Fouled away.
And this is what Don Robinson says about hitting. Right now, he'd be looking for a breaking ball, and if they threw it, he'd have a good cut. Let's see if he would be right.
Wait a minute. Ground ball to short. He hit a fastball down to Ozzie Smith. Wait a minute. Don Robinson says about hitting?
That's right. That's what he says.
The pitcher.
This is the guy that said it was going to be and hit a home run.
Okay. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
1956, the first World Series perfect game is pitched. 1956, a perfect climate for crime until Jack Cleary hit town. Private Eye, Friday.
Something smart has happened to the new Pacific Bell Yellow Pages.
Well, I'm not bragging, Jake, so don't put me down. But I got the fastest set of wheels in town. She's got a competition clutch with a 4 on the floor.
Now, everything for your car is parked on our new one-page index that helps speed you to the listing you need.
She's my little new scoop. You don't know what I got.
The brand new Pacific Bell Smart Yellow Pages. It's smarter to do it by the book.
Now, let's have a look. That's...
No two doctors are alike.
Lights, action,
That's why when you choose MaxiCare Health Plan, you can choose your own MaxiCare doctor. A doctor who will know you and who you can see as often as you need without ever paying a deductible or filling out any forms. MaxiCare lets you pick a doctor you feel comfortable with.
Very good, very good. Well done.
The White Flower Day sale.
This Sunday and Monday, save 20 to 50% at Macy's.
Great suits.
Very elegant.
Save on coats.
All kinds of coats.
Gear up for fall.
Gear up. Girls' clothes. Boys' clothes. Jewelry.
So take charge.
Charge.
And save 20 to 50%. The White Flower Day sale.
Sunday and Monday.
How do I look? We're Macy's, and we're a part of your life.
Come home to Channel 4's post-game wrap-up show tonight.
Game 4 of the 1987 National League Championship Series is brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft, coal-filtered draft beer. It's as real as it gets. And by your Toyota dealer in the all-new Dimension 88 Corolla, who could ask for anything more. Danny Cox coming into the dugout following the last out, and I think Whitey was breaking the news to him that he was probably coming out down in the bullpen. Ricky Horton begins to loosen up. Cox due to bat second in the 7th inning. There is Ricky Horton, and the Giants leading the Cardinals 3-2. Tony Pena single to center, grounded to third. Cox putting the helmet on, so perhaps Tony Pena will determine whether Danny stays in the game or not. Kevin Mitchell right at the bag at third. So he gives Pena a sizable hole on the left side, hugging the sack. Will Clark is deep, guarding the chalk at first. 0-1. Fastball, strike 2.
See, I can see Mitchell doing that, but I can't see Clark doing that. But that's what that so-called book that all players seem to have thrown away. 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, guard the lines.
0-2 to Tony Pena.
He's having a few words, I think, with Greg, just visiting. He's going to regroup.
Three 3-2 Giants, top of the 7th. Pena, Cox, and Coleman. 4-1, 1-2. Breaking ball, and it's hit over second base into center field, and that keeps Danny Cox in the game. That's how important that at-bat was.
He'll be up there bunting. And they'll set up at all kind of a defense. Clark is already looking in. Pena just flicks the bat. He really doesn't drive this ball. He's bailing out. But he's got that bat in the zone, and he's got himself a base hit.
Danny Cox, during the regular year, sacrificed 4 times, and as Norm Sherry makes his way out to the mound, they'll no doubt try and set for the bunt.
I just want to finish my thought on Don Robinson's theory on hitting. Yeah. Pitchers think differently.
You know, the reason I was startled is I thought you were going to say Stan Musial, Willie Mays, Henry Aaron, Will Clark, Willie McGee.
No, this makes sense. Pitchers think different. And what he says is that most guys think pitchers can't hit curveballs, so he looks for it in certain spots and goes to work on it. And you're the one that said last night he hit the home run, he told Craig.
That's right, against Lance McCullers, and he said he's going to hang me a slider. That's Don in the left-hand corner, now standing up. A big guy out of West Virginia, and he hit the slider against McCullers with a home run.
He dances to a different beat.
All right, let's see about Danny Cox now, trying to get a bunt down with Pena at first, the tying run, and nobody out in the 7th. In the air, and Clark falls down but makes the play.
And if he would have let that ball drop, if he slips and it drops, he's got a double play because Cox started back to the dugout and Pena's standing on first base, so he could have worked against him.
When they jerked the rug out from under him, though, Will Clark was just fortunate enough to keep his head above water and handle the ball.
Yep. But it could have really been disastrous for the Cardinals, although Clark makes a good play. I mean, when you're starting to slip like that, all you're looking for is to catch that ball. You're not trying any trick plays.
Well, that could be a key one for a lot of reasons. Not only it fails to advance a man, Pena's base hit kept Cox in the game. We'll have to kind of file that away, put it in escrow for a little while, and see just how important it turns out to be. Vince Coleman is 2 for 3. A comebacker. Krukow to Uribe to Clark. So that's important, the failure to move the man on the bunt, and it is 3-2 Giants.
My grandfather was a carpenter. My dad's a carpenter. Yes, building things is in my blood.
The Sawcat from the Industrial Tool Division of Black & Decker. Tough ball and roller bearings, cut steel helical gears for precision and power, job after job.
You know, you start in the morning, there's nothing. And at the end of the day, there's proof you've been there.
Ask a man who's used one lately. Nothing beats a Black & Decker.
It's real. I know it's real. No other reason for the way I feel. Oh, yeah. It's as real as it gets. It feels good. So right. No doubt about it. This is what I like right now. Oh, it's as real as it gets. The only thing I got on my mind says hang on to the real good time. Oh, yeah. It's real.
The best things are the real things. Draft beer is the real beer. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's as real as it gets. People in this country work hard every day. Not for fame or fortune do they strive, but the fruits of their labor are worth more than their pay. And it's time a few of them were recognized.
You work hard for every dollar you spend. Now get $5 back when you buy 12 quarts of any Valvoline motor oil.
You work a 40-hour week for a living, just to send it on down the line.
Bottom of the 7th inning. Roger Clegg talking to Will Clark about that bunt, and Clark explaining how he handled it. And, of course, such a big bunt. Earlier today, because there's so much talk about Jeffrey Leonard, and so Joe Garagiola went down to the dugout to ask him about himself.
Who is the real Jeffrey Leonard? The villain we see in St. Louis or the hack man we see in San Francisco?
I think it's the hack man. I'm a very ordinary guy, I think. I'm probably the kind of guy who, if you invite me over to dinner and your wife or your mother baked a cake and she asked me how it was, if it stinks, I'd tell her, you know, it was a rotten cake. I'm probably that kind of guy.
But you are a good hitter.
I try to be.
Eddie Milner fouls the bunt away 0-1. I see.
The moral of that story is don't invite him over for cake.
You mean there's the kind of guy who'd look at a mother and say, that's a homely baby. Cool.
I don't know about that.
0-1 the count. Eddie Milner has grounded to short, struck out and flied to right, 0 for 3. That was a pretty good move. We've been wondering about Milner trying to bunt, and especially you know how upset Danny Cox must be by popping up the bunt. Eddie tried to get him wool gathering, but he fouled it off. Chopper to the right side, Tommy Herr. 1 down. Kevin Mitchell will be coming up, followed by Jeffrey Leonard. And if you're not keeping score, to look ahead to the 8th when the Cardinals come up, Ozzie Smith, Tommy Herr, and Dan Dreesen.
Third baseman, Kevin Mitchell.
Kevin Mitchell grounded to short, single to center in the 3rd inning, and then hit a breaking ball and doubled into the left field corner in the 5th. 4-1. So Mitchell 2 for 3. Jack Clark hoping for game 6, I guess. At least that's what Whitey said. He was hoping to get him ready for game 6.
It really has been a game by game for Whitey as far as Jack Clark is concerned.
2 balls and no strikes. Change popped up around the plate. Pena. And I'll tell you one thing, that is a real rarity to watch a high foul at Candlestick behind the plate and have the catcher walk in a straight line.
And the stand's still waiting for it to come down. And he's talking to Greg, and they may be saying the very same thing. Here comes the hack man. Well, first we'll look at Pena. Look at this.
It's like he was walking down an aisle. Well, here's the man so far of the series. Leonard walked and struck out and then hit the 2-run home run in the 5th inning to give the Giants a 3-2 lead. 1 ball and no strike. Ricky Horton is up again in the Cardinal bullpen. 1-0.
Well, I looked at that graphic, and I got to tell you, those look like Little League numbers. 538. 7 base hits, 11 times at bat, 4 home runs.
It's worthwhile to repeat, he has a $50,000 incentive bonus if he's the most valuable player in the league championship series, and another $50,000 incentive bonus if he's the MVP in the World Series. That'd be a long shot, but it's sure worth trying for.
This could be one of those spots where they're pitching around him, too.
3-0. On the corner. 3-1.
Questionable. Curveball, 3-0, low and outside. You think they're going to give in to him?
On deck, Will Clark. And they walked him. So the 2-out pass, second time that they walked him tonight. This is really why they walked him, because he's at it again. A towering fly ball, and a gust apparently just blew it over the fence. The kid's having a field day. Coleman had gone back as if he had to play all the way until he ran out of room, and Leonard had done it again. So this time they give him the silk glove treatment. They put him on with 2 outs, and Will Clark will be coming up. Will Clark grounded out, struck out, and singled to right. And he goes to left field. Coleman backtracking and has to knock it down. Here comes Leonard around third. Ozzie Smith, the relay to Pena, and he is out at the plate. 7-6-2. What a great throw by Ozzie Smith.
And he hesitated on the throw, didn't really think he was coming.
And at the end of 7, it's 3-2 San Francisco.
For the first winter ever, there's actually an antifreeze that will guarantee your radiator. The antifreeze, new Prestone Advanced Formula. Use it after using Prestone Super Flush. And should our protection fail, no matter which model car you have, we'll pay for your radiator repairs. New Prestone Advanced Formula. The antifreeze that guarantees your radiator.
Good night, Tim. We'll be back late.
Ah, the virtues of milk.
Party!
Milk has fiber to help boost your energy level, protein to assist muscle development, riboflavin for agility.
Get back!
And milk has vitamin B complex for a stable nervous system.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. You're home early.
Milk, it does a body good.
Introducing Toyota Corolla for 1988. Dramatic new looks that'll literally stun you. Performance that'll surprise you. And value that is legendary. For 1988, it's a whole new dimension for Corolla. Toyota quality. Who could ask for anything more?
L.A. Law, the show that swept the Emmys, is back.
Then have we consummated our deal, Mr. Becker?
I believe that we have. To sweep you off your feet.
Good.
Opening with an exciting season premiere.
So this is good then.
Greg. L.A. Law, Thursday.
Here's Coleman going back, and he thought he was closer to the fence, bobbles it. Now watch his relay to Ozzie Smith. Ozzie doesn't throw immediately. Right there, now he spots him, and Leonard really tries to knock Tony Pena down, veers in, and he tags him right in the face, and that ball is in his glove, not in his bare hand.
Foul ball by Ozzie Smith, and the count 1-1.
That's very important where he's got that ball. Now, here's Coleman again, hit right off the heel. I wonder if there's a little swirling going on out there with that wind, Vin.
The flags are not indicating, but it is typical of Candlestick that there are gusts of wind affecting balls you're not aware of. You don't have any indication of it.
Ozzie made a strong throw as a relay man.
Great throw. And that's on the corner, 2-2. It was a perfect ball for the catcher, Tony Pena, to handle, and he had both hands on it, and then Jeffrey Leonard got both hands of Tony Pena in his face. Little nubber, Krukow down to get it. One away.
Don Zimmer had Leonard coming all the way. Look at Zimmer up the line, waving him on. There's Ozzie, and for a minute, he doesn't see Leonard, but Pena's got a lot of time, and he braces himself. And he buries that glove, that ball in the glove. Now, Leonard's coming hard, and Zimmer's up the line. He's not hesitating. I mean, he's full steam. Look where Zimmer is, and Pena's waiting, and he just jams him. If he'd have put his shoulder down, he might have gotten hurt, but Pena made a good tag.
Leonard, by the way, is 6'4", 205 pounds. There's a chopper to the hole, base hit by the diving Robbie Thompson. So Tommy Herr, a one-out single to right field, representing the tying run, and the batter is Dan Dreesen. And immediately, as Robbie Thompson comes up with a glove full of empty, the Giant bullpen is busy. 3 runs, 8 hits for the Giants, 2 runs, 8 hits for the Cardinals. Dreesen has walked, flied to right, and struck out. That's Craig Lefferts and Don Robinson in the Giant bullpen. Ground ball to Clark on the bag. That means it's a tag, no force, and it'll be Uribe in a foot race.
Great play by Clark.
3-6 double play. No runs, one hit, nobody left. At the end of 7.5, 3-2 Giants.
Every 10 seconds of every hour of every business day, America puts a brand new Epson computer or printer to work. Imagine that. Businesses of every kind and size putting the power of Epson into millions of hands. Every 10 seconds, another new Epson. It's true. When you've got an Epson, you've got a lot of company.
All the right parts in all the right places. Napa's putting smiles on American faces.
Don't miss our biggest sale of the year. It's Car Care Days at your Napa Auto Parts store. Just about everything you need to keep your car in great shape is on sale now. Get special prices on quality Napa parts. Check your local newspaper for sale items at your Napa Auto Parts store and save at our Car Care Days sale.
All the right parts in all the right places. Napa.
Now you can enjoy all the memories of the 1987 World Series with a copy of the official World Series program. With more than 90 pages of facts and figures, it's a real collector's item. To order your souvenir program, just send check or money order for $6 to World Series Program, Post Office Box 87, Trenton, New Jersey 08651. That's Box 87, Trenton, New Jersey 08651. Please include your proper return address.
The preceding was furnished by Major League Baseball.
Here's that double play, and you're really going to see Clark make a good play. He gets the out here. Now, he doesn't throw the ball and makes Hurt commit himself. Now, watch Hurt try to grab Clark, and if he grabs him, he hopes for interference. So you really saw two heady plays. Clark by man. Craig appreciates that because Clark made Hurt commit himself, and Tommy, with his experience, says, if I can just grab him, I might get an interference call. That was really something.
There's also something going on here at Candlestick. The paid attendance tops last night, 57,997. An all-time crowd for a baseball game at Candlestick Park. Mike all ready to start it off.
And we were talking about some empty seats a half hour before the game.
Well, they're certainly here now. Ball one, 1-0. You notice that the Giants continue to rely on their favorite weapon, the double play. They've done it throughout, having led the major leagues in double plays. 1 ball and no strikes. Comebacker, nice play by Danny Cox. So Aldretti out. 1 away. Friends, this telecast, presented by authority of Major League Baseball, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of Major League Baseball. Bob Brenly coming up. Meanwhile, kind of stretching and somehow getting ready, Jack Clark. That is one of the tough things for the visiting team here at Candlestick Park. There is no place to go to get warm. In so many other ballparks, you go up the runway, back into the clubhouse, etc., but not here. And if you do have a tendency to stiffen up in the cool night air, boy, this is the place that'll do it to you.
The clubhouse is a long way for the visiting team. They have to go from third base to right field.
1 ball and 1 strike. So Clark will not have any chance. The only thing you do is go outside the dugout, stand on a warning track, and swing the bat. The Cardinals will tell you about their hitters due up in the 9th. But Brenly drives one to deep left. Back goes Coleman, away back, gone. A goal line line stand in left field.
Some of those kids, they don't want the ball. They want to dive on somebody. Tom Lawless you're looking at, Cardinal bench, and the Giants still high-fiving it, and they're still scrambling for that ball.
So Danny Cox has given up 3 home runs tonight to Robbie Thompson, Jeffrey Leonard, and Bob Brenly. And the Giants lead 4-2. And here's Thompson. Right. When the Cardinals come up in the 9th inning, Willie McGee, Terry Pendleton, and Kurt Ford. 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. So the Giants are doing the 2 things that got them here, hitting home runs and turning double plays. The Cardinals are not doing their trademark. We have not seen a lot of Cardinal stolen bases. Here's another look at the goal line stand following the home run. And not a helmet in sight. Brenly, who had struck out 5-6 times in the series, finally unloads. Another comebacker, another nice play by Danny Cox. He would appear to be a good fielder. 2 down.
Also appears that Brenly, after the way they've been pitching him and been so steady, he's just kind of sitting on it.
Take another look at Danny Cox's form.
Kind of off balance, but it comes right back to him, and he's able to handle it.
Shortstop.
4-2 Giants. Bottom of the 8th inning. Jose Uribe the batter.
I'll tell you how upset Danny Cox was when he threw that ball around the infield after that last out. He caught it barehanded.
I'll bet he is. The Cardinals won 95 games during the regular year. And after seeing what they did last night, there is no way that the Giants can sit on any lead and find it comfortable. 1 ball, 1 strike. Uribe struck out, flied to right, and popped up. Ground ball. Up with it is Dan Dreesen. Nice play. But the Giants get 1 run on 1 hit. And before the largest crowd in baseball history at Candlestick Park, Bob Brenly takes a bow, and the Giants take a 4-2 lead into the 9th inning.
I've got a man with a slow hand. He's got a face that I love to touch.
Chic Super 2 Plus blades with a comfort strip for the easy touch.
For every number flashing by on the ticker, there's a buyer and a seller who found each other. Chicago pork bellies get an offer from London. Swiss francs are picked up in Dallas. How do traders keep up with it? They use a communication system from Contel. If it doesn't work, they don't work. That's why 4 out of 5 major trading firms depend on technology from Contel. For Contel, I'm Charlton Heston.
It's real. I know it's real.
There was a time when there was only one kind of beer. Rich, smooth draft beer. It wasn't pasteurized or tampered with. It was just real beer. Miller Genuine Draft is as real as that. It's not heat pasteurized like most other beers. It's cold filtered, so it's as rich and smooth as only real draft beer can be. Miller Genuine Draft.
It's as real as it gets.
Really, Norton, you think you've never had ice cream before? Oops.
There's only one camera system you can buy that lets you hold the picture in your hand while you still hold the feeling in your heart. The Polaroid Spectra system.
Boy, what a day we have for you tomorrow, right here on NBC. Starting at 12:30 Eastern Daylight Time, the NFL, and there's the menu for that attraction. After football, and with the doubleheader, Cincinnati, Seattle, Pittsburgh, and the Rams. Then right here at Candlestick, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Game 5, Rick Russell and Greg Matthews. And then when our game is over at 8 o'clock, It'll be the Minnesota Twins and the Detroit Tigers. Now, that's a day of sports on NBC.
Boy, and they got a beauty going over there at Tiger Stadium, too. What a game they had today.
Well, we got one here. It is 4-2 Giants in the ninth. And now the Cardinals try to come back. And Whitey sends up Willie McGee, Terry Pendleton, and Kurt Ford. Mitchell in on the grass at third. Strike. Down in the Giant bullpen, Don Robinson and Craig Leffers. Mike Krukow has had 3 complete games all year. And another strike. McGee lined out to center, grounded to second, and singled to center.
He really is set up to bounce that curveball, or at least throw it low and inside, which is this one that McGee's been chasing. Krukow with 2 fastballs is in pretty good shape right here.
0-2. Fouled away.
See Brenly motioning down. That ball was out of the zone.
It's interesting here in the 9th inning. You hearken back to the 7th. When Tony Pena singled, Danny Cox was then allowed to stay in the game, was asked to sacrifice, and couldn't do it. Consequently, he was still in the game for Brenly's home run. Roller back at first. Fair ball. Clark feeding Krukow. 1 out in the 9th.
Krukow's gotten a lot of ground ball outs, curveball, and Clark thinks he might be able to make it himself, but he realizes McGee's coming down, so he's going to give it to Krukow. And he makes the left turn. Good play.
That ball came very, very close to hitting the bag, too. Almost hit it. So 1 down, Terry Pendleton the batter, and Kurt Ford on deck. In contrast, and the contrast, I guess, was to be expected, the Giants have 9 hits, 3 home runs, and a couple of doubles. That's the 9th hit for the Cardinals, all singles. So Terry Pendleton battles back with a base hit up the middle. And that will bring up Kurt Ford.
And what Brenly's home run did, give him that extra run, you eliminate the possible hit-and-run play steal, although, tell you, with the Cardinals, they got green lights going all the time, but you wouldn't think so.
Terry Pendleton has the bad ankle, so he's not quite the base stealer that he was during the year when he stole 19. Ground ball to Robbie Thompson, to Uribe, to Clark. The San Francisco Giants and the St. Louis Cardinals have split 4, and the Giants have just set a National League Championship Series record. They have now turned in 9 double plays.
Get that ground ball, and those 2 guys around second base, they really know what to do with it.
So a lot of things now go through your mind. There is definitely going to be a 6th game at Busch Stadium, which means we might finally see Jack Clark in a starting role. Whitey said at the start of the series he'd like to stay above water until Clark could come back, and it looks like if he can, Clark will have that opportunity in Game 6.
Tell you, these Giants, tonight they showed why they're here. The Cardinal speed from first to third has been great, but they still have not unleashed that great base stealing that got them to where they are.
So everything has stood up as we see Jack Clark just about last man off the field. And this tremendous crowd of almost 58,000 going wild. We'll be back.